Okay, guys, we are live. So for those listening at home, welcome to the Dungeon Musings YouTube channel. My name is Kevin Madison, and I will be your friendly, I'll be your friendly cult master today. Because today we are continuing on with our ongoing game playing Kult, Divinity Lost from Helmgast Studios and distributed by Modiphius Entertainment as well. This is the most recent edition of the classic Swedish kind of extreme horror RPG. And with me today are the stars of our Kult Divinity Lost campaign, a campaign we're calling Those Left Behind, I believe. I'll go the order I've got you guys on the screen here. Why don't you tell us who you're playing, so who you are, who you're playing, and I guess that's it. So first up is Carl.
Hello, I'm Carl, and I'm playing Joey Novak. He is a bookie, and if you imagine the TV or movie production, he is played by Steve Buscemi.
Nice. Next up is Mo. Oh, Mo, we've lost your audio. We had you there before. I don't know what's happened.
I can't hear him at all, right?
No, I can't hear him at all.
I can't hear him all.
No, I heard him when we started. I don't know what's happened here, but next up is Sean.
Hey, I'm Sean. I'm playing Samuel Joseph, a former FBI agent, but that was a certain case changed his life, and he is basically finding out how and why.
Nice. Okay. So it looks like Zoom crashed on Mo. Oh. I still see him in the call. So let's do this while Mo is sorting out his tech issues. Let's do a recap from last session.
Yeah.
So what happened last time, guys? I know we introduced Joey to the story.
Yeah, Joey was introduced to the story, and I think the cool thing, they have this mutual connection to Sam, at least through this medium. Joey is also his birth name is Joseph, so he's a sort of Eastern European, Hungarian descent. I don't know if we codified that or not, but that area of Eastern Europe. So there is a community in Detroit, and he's very close to his family, or at least I think it was his mother or aunt. I think his aunt. And this medium is well known to the community, and that's how he ties in with Sam. We kind of did some backstory for Joey. Like, he's a bookie, always looking for the next big score. He never gets it. He's always in trouble. He's got people hunting him, probably because of bad bets he's gotten from them or put down for them. And of course, the law. He skirts the law because that kind of gambling is legal in the U.S. still, I believe. So he's a big Detroit Lions fan. They actually have won a game this year since we last played, which is interesting. So there you go. That's him. And then I think it's probably better if Sam tells how we got connected, because that didn't happen until the very end. Right.
So I think before we do this, I think Mo, you can we hear you now? Let's see.
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
We can. Yes, there we go. So Mo, tell us, who are you playing today?
Stuff. That's right. I am playing FBI Special Agent Mike Anderson, who is well, that's it, isn't he? Yeah.
Mo, might I ask that you just move your mic once again just a little bit away so you're not getting that popping?
Yep. Is that better?
That's better. If you can turn your gain up at all, that's perfect. Just when it's that particular mic is close to your mouth, we get a lot of puffing when you speak. Sam, what happened to you last time?
So it was a month ago, so if anyone wants to pitch in too, but I remember the end. Let's see. I remember that we were going. Me and Jenny were going to, and I'm sure I'm missing some things, but at the end we were going to visit the Madam, and I wanted.
Yep. Madam Yosevsky.
Yes, in the interest of Jenny's safety. It was closed, and so that was highly unusual. And so it looked closed, and she's always open, I think, or at least before. And so I had her stay in the car, and I went around to look in the windows, and made my way. And I noticed in the front that I would be exposed. You know, I have these sort of flashes of law enforcement, you know, kind of realizations periodically, since I did it for a career prior. And so I realized I'd be exposed in the cameras or in the windows in the front. And so I went around the back instead and ran into Joey. And let's see, help me with what exactly transpired back there.
I think the bulk of the rest of the session, well, we have actually, that's where we left it with a cliffhanger.
Yeah,
with you guys in the back of there. And then Mike had some interesting things happen to him last session as well.
Yeah, Mike had some things happen.
Oh, yeah.
Mo, do you remember what happened last time?
Yes, last time. Check the levels are okay.
Yeah, you're a little bit quiet, but for the folks listening at home, it'll equalize out.
Yeah, this one doesn't have any changes, so sorry about that. Right, so last time, checking my notes, I went back to work after the sort of shootout struck, and my boss suggested I need to take some personal time. So then he decided to go to Amber's flat to see why she was not responding.
Yeah, well, by he, you mean that Mike did?
Mike, yes.
Okay.
He got there and found that she hadn't been there and hadn't slept there. Which is a little worrying. Just at that point, there was a knock on the door, and some more of the heavies turned up. I managed to hide briefly, and then as they broke in, I managed to escape by crawling through the false ceiling, and went through the neighbours' flats, dropping my gun into the fish tank.
Yeah, right. A complication. Yeah, that's right. You lost your gun.
Yes. Well, we did recover it from the fish tank. Hopefully, it needs just cleaning and checking. And he left, tripping the fire alarm to cause some distraction. I think we left it as he was walking slowly, not to draw attention, to a local coffee shop to work out what on earth he was going to do next.
Yeah. Okay. So before we jump in now, it's been for those listening at home. It has been. If you're joining us live, you'll know it's been a month since we played last time. And if you're joining us in the sequence, I guess if you're watching this at another point with the other episodes, what we're going to do, I think, guys, is we're just going to reestablish your dramatic hooks fresh. I've got a couple written down here, but I think to kind of orient ourselves and get ourselves on task for today's session, it's worth doing, dramatic hooks over again. And what I'm thinking we'll do is, rather than taking the suggestion that you guys, we got two different ways we can do this. We can have one from the other players and one from your character, or we can have one from each of the other characters, or each of the other players for your character. Because I think we all sort of have an established idea of who our characters are now. What would you guys prefer? I'll go with majority on this. Whatever. Do you want a one to come from yourself, and then for setting up? And as a reminder, the dramatic hook is the thing that you get XP from if it occurs in the session. One to come from you, or one to come from your. How are we feeling?
I guess that makes sense. I guess I would vote for one from the player and one from the other players.
Okay.
Yeah, I like that.
Okay, so then we got quorum for that. So, guys, dramatic hooks, as a reminder, are you think of verbs like the following for inspiration, and then finish a sentence with something appropriate. You should blank. So the verbs are finish, reveal, tell, visit, complete, confront, investigate, or develop. For example, you should really visit the place where your kidnapper took you, or you should reveal your infidelity to your wife. And as a reminder, too, this is stuff that's within the capacity of your character to do, not what you want to see happen in the adventure.
Mm-hmm.
So, why don't we do the ones for yourselves first? I think you guys have had a chance to think about what happened last time. So, I'll go left to right here. Joey, what is your contribution for a dramatic hook this session? The hooks, if you want to find them, are on page 136 of the core rulebook.
I think something. Yeah, I don't know the exact wording, but definitely wants to rescue Madame Yavoski.
Okay. So that is.
Yeah. So, however
I think that's more of an outcome from what has happened. However, I think you can present that you want to investigate what happened to her, right?
Yeah, I mean, I know she's stuck in there, and I got this photograph of someone holding her.
You've got photos from someone holding her, but you don't know if she's necessarily in there.
Right. Okay.
Okay. So, so Joey wants to investigate. I'm going to write this slowly so I can actually read my handwriting. Madam Yavoski.
I was going in the same direction, so we can decide how much. Okay, guys. I was going to say investigate. Investigate the clothes shop.
This is a great example of you guys using the fiction to maximize your game benefit from it. So that's totally fine. It's also a good reason for for having a single character or an NPC connected to two different characters. Is this kind of okay? What about you, Mike? What are you thinking? What's the hook you would like to?
Amber is my connection, to use Delta Green terminology here. So there is a bond there. So he's going to report her missing at her workplace because she's in the DA's office. So they ought to be.
So no, hold on, Mo. Remember, so this is not. Don't think of this as a reporting her missing is not. That's just a single act. That's not a compare that to things like you should visit the place where your kidnapper took you. You should reveal your infidelity to your work.
Yeah, sorry.
Each of those prompts, just so you know, in my mind, Mo, the distinction is that those other ones, those are prompts for a scene to happen in our session today.
Right.
What you could do, though, Mo, is you could, further investigate her missing.
Yeah, I think investigate her going missing.
Sure. Yeah. That's I'm completely fine with that. What do you guys think? Does that sound more on?
Yeah, or I mean, if he wants to visit, you could use visit, right? If he wants to go to her work, but I don't know if that's.
No, I think
visit's one of the prompts in there too.
Yeah,
we talked about that.
Yeah, but the thing is, the visit is to a person, not necessarily a place. Because the example they give, visit the place where the kidnapper took you. That's got a personal connection to it, as opposed to just a step along the way.
So probably investigate. Yeah, investigate is probably more appropriate.
Yeah,
because you don't know. Yeah, you'd get leads if Mo wanted to go.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, cool. So we're right into some horror investigation now. Now, guys, let's talk about what the other players want to see or want to suggest as a dramatic hook. So, does either Mo or Sean have a suggestion for dramatic hook for Joey?
So we're getting one from each, or just one?
Just one. You guys will each have two dramatic hooks.
Okay.
I will. See what you think about this, Mo. What about reveal? Something to do with your bad bets, perhaps. Reveal who wants Joey's hide, in essence.
Okay.
Who's chasing him, or who's who wants his demise.
Okay. Carl, sound good?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's cool. I got to think about it. Yeah.
Okay.
You got it. I know you have to, when you get started, just to remind you have to do some things for us, or for me, to see if bad things happen.
Yeah. Oh, yes. And then Carl and Sean, do you have suggestions for Mike?
I had something. I mean, I would like to see maybe hopefully we'll hook up with Mike again in the course of the adventure today. But I would like him to reveal to us that he has a bond with his girlfriend, because I want that to. I want to see the player solidify that to us a bit more.
Okay.
Does that sound? What do you think about that, Sean?
Yeah, if that works, yeah.
Because I mean, that could drive some things towards there. I think.
Okay. So that would be
better.
I think we can work with that. And then
they're all individual.
let's see here. What about for
What?
Samuel, Carl and Mike and Sean, Carl and Mo, do you have any suggestions for dramatic hooks for Sam?
Maybe reveal or go into more detail about what he saw. When we did he actually say he saw something weird or not?
I don't think he shared some of this, like his visions or anything like that with you guys yet. Is that right, Sean? I can't remember.
Yes, I mean I don't think any of us know.
Yeah.
I don't think.
No, but even the things like the I don't remember honestly if you had revealed to Mike that you saw that like that World War II or World War I soldier, in that vision. Whether you saw someone in the basement,
Yeah, probably not. I think I told the madam, but not.
Yeah.
Because we were in that same room together at the time. But probably not Mike. Yeah.
Okay, so reveal your dreams.
Reveal the visions.
Okay. Yeah, visions. That's better. Because he did see that thing in the waking hours too. He saw that helmet walking past.
Oh yeah, the flashback to World War I, right?
Yeah. I also, in a non sequitur kind of issue, because I've been getting caught up on the Behind the Bastards podcast. There's one person who's featured in one. Well, it's a 2-part episode that is just like fits fucking perfectly in the backstory of this campaign. And I was like, oh, this is beautiful. Someone I didn't know about before, and it's obscure enough to be like, if you look into it, you're like, oh, there's a lot of stuff about this person, but it's not someone who's on the tip of your tongue. So I'll leave that as a teaser. A big thank you to the Behind the Bastards podcast.
So it's an historic figure that you can use.
Yes, an historic figure, and it's a relatively obscure character until you start, like, if you know to look for this person's name, then you're like, oh, there's a lot of, wow, there's a lot about this person. Yeah, so, all right, so then, with that, guys, I think we're going to do that irritating thing that shows do when they leave on a cliffhanger, the first thing, and start with the heroes who are not in danger. So, oh wait, you're right, Carl. We got some things. So, are there any things that I need to roll at the start of the session, guys? Any disadvantages or whatever they're called?
I have Stalker. Stalker, I think, is what you need to.
Oh, okay, yeah. Let's
check on.
I think you've got Stalker as well too, Mike, don't you?
Yes.
Oh, in the first game session, and whenever you expose your location.
Okay.
Yeah.
And Sam possibly he's got the involuntary medium disadvantage. So it just depends on what's going on. That.
I know I say this every time we play this game, but like this book is just so pretty.
Yeah.
It's so pretty to work with. God dang.
Yeah.
Do you have the little? Is it the pocket Bible?
No, I don't have that one. I actually it's out of print.
I ordered that for the last Kickstarter, but of course everything's behind.
Cool.
I think they said that things are on the boat, but.
Oh, nice. Oh, maybe I did get a copy of the Kickstarter. I got to check what my rewards are. But
so. My trigger is whenever Samuel encounters spiritual entities or haunted places. So you can determine.
And we have triggered this with. Sorry, what is it called again?
Involuntary medium on page 98.
Involuntary medium, right. Would you mind giving us a 2d10 roll, please?
Alrighty then. Let's see.
Okay.
12.
All right, 12. The entity gains influence over you. The DM gains 1 hold. Okay, so I think last time I was using the dice from what do you call it? 5 rings. This time, because we've got so many of our Acton Cthulhu players here, I'll be using Blaue Kristall.
Oh, cool.
As my what do you call it? My hold. And then so Stalker and Rival. So Stalker, we've looked up. That's the one that only triggers when you expose yourself. And then Rival. First session, and whenever you make the mistake of letting your guard down. Oof, Mike. life's about to get very fucking dangerous for you, my friend. Every time you expose yourself, every time you reveal your location. All right, so what I can do for with the hold, let's see here. Make moves for the being possessing you. Interesting. All right. So, Mike, let's cut to you in the coffee shop. So we can see, like, maybe like this starts off with an exterior shot of kind of a this. If I recall, we were saying that Amber lived in a neighborhood like part of that, like, sort of redeveloped near downtown kind of area. So this part of Detroit looks like a marked contrast from, or a different place from our what we have seen thus far in this series. There's people kind of, you would mistake this for any other kind of, East Coast American city or Eastern American city. Snow's on the ground, people walking by in, parkas and stuff like that. And you are sitting at the window, looking out and drinking your coffee. I don't think we established that you replaced your phone yet either.
No, I was going to get onto that, but...
Okay. So do you want to, what we could say is that we can open the scene with you, with a new phone. You could have picked it up at a store. And then just sort of, we see you enjoying your coffee as you're unpacking the phone and getting it set up again. Would you have kept, like, the SIM card from the previous one?
No, he was going to go to a bodega and get a burner.
Okay. That would... I actually don't know how hard that would be in...
Yeah, I don't think you have to provide an address, not like the UK.
Well, the thing is that, like, to buy burners, I am, like, for sure in maybe the smaller things. Let's just say you can do it. Honestly, I'm getting lost in trivia right now. So you're unpacking this. We see you unpacking this burner phone. What do you want to do next?
Right, you see him finishing up his coffee and go out. He's going to, I don't know, find some open area. Is there a park or a square?
Probably. How about let's just do this. Let's focus on what you want to do rather than the steps towards it, and then we can fill that in narrative afterwards. What is it that he wants to do next?
Yeah, he's going to call Amber's office.
Okay.
Has to speak to her supervisor. Presumably they've socialised, so I'm assuming he knows them.
Okay.
And he's just going to say, has Amber come into work because she's disappeared and I'm a bit concerned. Did she have any problems with any criminals that were threatening her?
Okay, so let's do this first. That all sounds great. What you are doing is you're investigating.
Mm-hmm.
So, and one of the things, I guess, maybe this might be helpful, Mo, is that, like, this isn't like, this game isn't like, Cthulhu or Delta Green or whatnot, where, like, there's clues that clearly you just need to make the right kind of skill check to get to the clues. Mm-hmm. Whether or not there exists clues, it's kind of like Schrodinger's clue, right? Like, where it's the outcome of the investigate check. That's what tells us whether this course of action is going to get you some other information or not. So it's good to be thinking of the, like what specific information you want to look for. But remember that the game abstracts that into...
Yeah, it's just triggering the scene rather than...
Exactly. So, because honestly, like, it makes it interesting from a DM's perspective or a cult master's perspective. It makes it interesting because I don't, I don't know how the story is going to go forward. I know sort of what the mystery is here, but, like, we don't know until the outcome of any given move, right? So, why don't you give that? To me, that sounds like you're drawing on investigate. But let me make a suggestion for you. I know that you have. What was you're an agent, right?
Yeah, I have mole, which means I've got contacts in various things. Whether I'd have a contact in the DA's office, which is probably quite likely for
well, and this is again like where we don't know the answer to that, and we really don't need to know because it's going to be the outcome of your role, right? And even like this is where we sort of can piece shit together. Like, if it turns out there is a mole there, this may have been how you met Amber in the first place.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, maybe.
Right?
I met to work and then met her, yeah.
Why don't you give us a charisma check, please?
influence other or investigate?
I don't know. Remember that it gives you the name of the normal move on one side, and then it gives you the stat on the other one.
What's the modifier? Just
no modifier.
Straight.
Nice. Success with complications. Okay. So choose one of the options below. You can choose that the mole has penetrated the organization's inner circle, however, their influence is limited, or the mole owes you one. However, you must meet their demands if you want to get what you want. So it's here. Whenever you make contact with one of your moles to acquire info or services.
I think maybe owing them a favor.
Yeah, like now that I've read it, I'm not sure. You tell me if this is what you want to do, or if you just want to be doing an investigate. Because investigate allows you to ask questions of me, whereas this one will get you information from.
I think investigate might be a more.
What is the difference between your charisma bonus and your reason bonus?
Well, charisma is 1, reason is 3.
Okay, so then actually your result would have been a 16. So you can ask me 2 questions. And remember, these are questions in, these are general questions about moving kind of the story forward, right? So it's like the examples they give. How can I find more about what I'm investigating? What is my gut feeling about what I'm investigating? Is there anything weird about what I'm investigating? Now, there's also some baseline information you will get from this. So you call up this this person, and do you think it's her supervisor you're trying to contact, or like a coworker?
It could be either her supervisor, certainly one of her co-workers, a team member maybe might be better.
Okay. So she's a lawyer, right?
Yeah, she was a DA, I think.
Her assistant. Her assistant would be the one to contact to know precisely where she should be or whatnot.
Oh, they have secretaries. Oh, right. Okay.
No, they have legal assistants. There's a difference between a secretary and a legal assistant. Secretaries, I can't speak not to diminish secretaries whatsoever. Legal assistants have very specific knowledge and training, and they keep people like me in my, in employment. So.
Yeah. Oh, right. Yes. Yes, that would be the obvious thing because they know. Right. So 2 things. So.
Sure. So the assistant, I think it's a man or a woman.
Let me say it's another woman.
Another woman, okay. I'm going to suggest the name Rebecca.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. So Rebecca, what is Amber's last name?
I don't think I gave her one, to be honest.
Okay.
Jones.
Let's call Amber Unknown. Amber Unknown's office. How can I direct your call?
Hi, Rebecca. This is Mike.
Mike, do you know where Rebecca is?
I was just about to say she didn't come back from a meal we were having last night.
No, she was supposed to be in chambers this morning, and no one seems to be able to get a hold of her.
Yeah, it's a bit worrying because I went to her place to see if she just was unwell and wouldn't. And she wasn't there. She hadn't slept there, and then some heavies broke the door down, and I had to.
So hold on. Remember, your character exists in a modern world and whatnot. I'm not sure that you would casually mention that a bunch of people went in and that you did not call the police.
Okay, yeah.
Right. Just to give you context for, because your character doesn't exist in an action movie, right? Like the immediate questions that they would ask would be like, well, why the fuck didn't you call the police? Why didn't you stick around to give a statement? Why didn't you help them? And so your character would anticipate this stuff, but how would that shape what you would say?
No, I'll just say I went to the apartment and she wasn't there, and she obviously hadn't slept there. The bed was unmade, so I was a little concerned. So. Oh
my God, we tried calling you, Mike, but we couldn't get through on your phone.
I had a crash. My phone got broken last night.
Wait, you had a car crash? Are you okay?
Yeah. Just ran into a snowbank and got a bit of a bump. Yeah, it's fine.
Well,
but, were there any threats?
Nothing that. No. Mike, I'm gonna let the DA's office know that this has happened. If she's gone missing, I think that there needs to be more steps taken. do you know what's the number? Are you calling from a landline or are you calling from a phone?
This is my new phone. I'll read off the phone number.
Okay.
Obviously.
I love the idea of you holding this shitty little burner phone out too. It's
like a flip phone.
Yes. I've got to get my own other phone fixed, so I need to go back to my place and pick some stuff up.
Okay. Well, Mike, I'll be in touch with you as soon as I speak to the office, but I don't know what's going on. She didn't say anything unusual. She didn't seem like she was upset. She had plans with you last night. Did you see her last night?
No, unfortunately, I got called away to an urgent case. So I left a message on her phone, but then she just didn't. I didn't actually speak to her, did I?
No. No,
I left a message on the phone saying, unfortunately, there was a call out. An old friend had problems, and I was investigating that. And she didn't turn up again. I'm probably going to. Well, I suggest you report it, and then I need to go back because I haven't had any sleep. I need to get my stuff and my.
Well, yeah, I'm sure they're going to want to speak to you, Mike.
Yeah, sure. Give them my phone number.
Yeah. Now, Mo, you can also ask me 2 questions.
Oh, this is to drive the story forward.
Yeah. So what do you think? What questions do you have? The examples are, how can I find out more about what's happening, more about what I'm investigating? 1 second here. Sorry, guys. What is going on? Sorry, I heard weird knocking. The dog started barking. I thought someone might have been at the door.
Yeah, I think, how can I follow up on the guys with the tattoos?
So one of the one thing that occurs to you is the restaurant. You didn't speak to her, so she must have been at the restaurant. So maybe if they saw her there, that might have been like a last known location.
Yeah.
Kind of thing. Okay. One more question.
Yeah. How can I find out more about these guys with the tattoos? Because that's quite an obvious thing. I mean, I've got some ideas about how I do it IRL, but
yeah, I think that accessing. I'm going to give you a 2-for-1 here. Accessing, obviously, the FBI database would be a way of kind of conducting that investigation. The risk with that, though, is what's happened in the last couple of days is a complete change from how things have been normally for you. So it's easy in an RPG to think that, like, oh, this is all crazy stuff that's happening. This is just, standard fare for you. But, like, the fact that you were run off the road and nearly killed, the fact that you then got in a gunfight, the fact that you then got in another gunfight after your girlfriend went missing, all of this shit is bizarre and very unlike the normal. And if you were to suggest where your day started, it was with the delivery
of the package. Yeah, I think we need to see what was in the package.
Yeah, so there's an irritating tapping, and I'm sure it's a fucking woodpecker or something.
Oh no.
Yeah. 1 second. This one.
It's kind of adding to the cult game.
I know, it's freaking the GM out.
It just disappeared. Oh.
It is a little woodpecker. Hey, you little bastard.
No way.
Yeah.
Nature.
Oh, no wonder Anna's barking and just catch the bird out of the sky.
Yeah.
It was funny. That's one of the funniest moments. We were at this place we go to, Flying Saucer, all the time, and they let you take your dogs. You can sit outside, and we have these grackles everywhere. And Pearl, our Roddy, she caught like a grackle out of the air.
Oh my god!
Wow.
And then it was like flapping around. We're like, let it go,
Yeah.
It's kind of freaky. And she let it go, and the grackle like hopped away. And she didn't crush it, surprisingly. But the stupid bird came back around. So we're like, if you go after it again, we're out of here.
Yeah. That bird had its warning.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Those types of dogs will go after
your Roddy's name Pearl?
Pearl, yeah.
Yeah, that's great. I like that name. As you can tell, I like giving old lady names to my, bully breed dogs.
Yeah.
Emmy Lou and Anna Banana. So so Pearl fits right in. So the things, what I was saying, Mike, is that where this all seemed to change was when that package was delivered. So you can access that, but there does seem to be something going on with that package.
Yeah.
So we will leave your scene with you heading to where?
I think the restaurant.
To the restaurant? Okay.
No, actually, he wants to go home and pick some stuff up.
Okay.
And he's going to he wants to make sure is that being watched as well. He's worried about that.
So if he's going home first, then we'll deal with that in our next scene. Okay, so we cut back to the alleyway. Mm-hmm. Now, where we left things was with Joey and Sam running into each other. Why don't you guys quickly remind ourselves what each of you looks like right now?
Oh, yeah, I guess, go ahead.
Sam will probably, he'll look like he always looks, which is, I don't know, maybe, a 10% improvement since he's been with Jenny, but, it's nothing radical. He's usually, he's going to be kind of unkempt, different color socks, this kind of a thing, with his hair kind of askew, although probably more recently washed than usual. Mm-hmm. And, he's made an attempt, but it's still obvious that because of Jenny, but it's still obvious that he's kind of at the very least, he's the absent-minded professor, if not homeless.
I started as a non-sequitur, but I started rewatching the Tom Baker Doctor Who from the beginning of the series all the way forward. First episode is one called Robot, and there's an actor in it who I can't remember his name, but like you could not have a more stereotypical mad scientist. He's a small guy. He's in his like 70s. He's partly balding, and then the rest of his hair is just like as big as his head again. And he has these tiny like Coke bottle glasses that are like, the kind of prescription that could like set fire to an ant if you put the sun through it. It's just like that's the actor I'm going to go to as my like doddering scientist from now on. It was so perfect.
Yeah.
Anyway, and Carl, what does Joey look like right now?
Joey probably has like he always wears like a jumpsuit, but it's cold outside, so he like definitely the shirt part of the jumpsuit is like a Detroit Lions thing, logo thing. Then he has like a coat probably with the fur line. Very much, I feel like East Coast, Midwest, fur line collar. And he should be wearing a hat because his ears are really red and his nose is probably red. It's cold outside.
Yep.
But he's probably holding his hat in his hand. He's trying to climb up. And then he saw Sam and he instantly, for whatever reason, decides that Sam is part of this, what has happened to his friend, Madame Yablowski. So I know we had left when he was kind of moving towards me. You.
So then, let me see here. I'm going to ask. I'm going to use up my hold. Goodbye, Blower Cristal. Let's see here.
Yeah, what did happen in the last 30 seconds in the scene before we
Joey was hot, like you were sneaking your way around the side, and Joey was like jumping up trying to get onto the fire escape, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
And you saw it. So then what I'd like you to do, Sam, is as sort of the stress hits you and you're so close to the nexus that is the thing, I'd ask that you kindly give us a keep it together roll. And remember that you have to manually add your modifier for your low whatever stability.
Gotcha. Yep. Good. That's a good.
So it doesn't quite
reminder. Let me just check my just in case here. Does the the Daredevil, when Samuel enters a dangerous situation?
I don't think that's going to apply here.
Okay.
Yeah. It's not. Joey might be dangerous, but this is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. I think I'm good. I think that covers it. So let's see. Keep it to.
I have said no to Daredevil the last 2 times, though, so next time you get a yes.
Okay.
Because it's fine that it can't apply everywhere, but it's got to apply sometimes, right? So.
Yeah.
Come on, Madison.
Right. Let's see. -1. Here we go. -1 modifier.
Here we go.
Oh, okay.
Nice.
Nice.
All right. So what you briefly see, and you can tell us how this manifests, what Joey sees, is as this guy starts coming towards you, there is a flash of images that sort of like, it's that jarring, what do you call it? The jarring sort of like discordant images thing that you kind of see in horror films. And you see briefly that soldier once again, hands completely, you still can't see the face because of the shadow cast by that big doughboy helm or helmet, but its hands are just drenched in blood. There are piles of bodies and spent casings and whatnot around it, and you can very briefly see as it moves its head up, there is the brilliant pearl white of a smile, and one tooth has been replaced with a cap that looks like a bullet.
So weird.
You then see a brief flash of what's his name? Of Joseph Peters. Of his face, haggard.
You're my partner, right?
Your partner, and
yeah.
You're seeing like he seems to be running. He's got a full grown-in beard. Around there's strange lights here where like patches of jet blackness and patches of brilliant, almost like washed out light, like that fluorescent light, but taken up to kind of a searchlight, level. So you can see the broken blood vessels in his face. You can see the signs of rough living. Like, I'm not sure you've ever seen Joseph's. He was an FBI agent. He kept himself clean shaven. A part in his hair that you could set your watch to. He's running along and screaming, "Go! Go!" And on either side, you can see sweeping up as far as you can see, almost trying to like crowd out, are these cyclopeanly large buildings, but they look somewhere between somehow both being devastated and also pristine at the same time. Imagine glass buildings that had, the ash of a devastated neighbor cast across it, and that might give you an idea of what you're seeing. And then you're back in the scene. You're back in that alleyway with Joey sort of advancing towards you. At a glance, you can tell he does not fit what the other thugs that you've faced have looked like.
I think that Samuel confusingly is going to be screaming Joseph because of seeing his partner.
Oh, that's weird.
That's so great. Oh man.
Well, we already decided, very briefly how bizarre this is, because my partner, my new last name, and Joey all have this thing going on.
So good. Oh man, I love this game.
There's something about Joey.
Yeah,
We're gonna meet some Joseph, historical Joseph characters.
Right.
Yeah. No, but that's perfect because Joey, like you start advancing towards this one, then he just screams out Joseph. And how does Joey react to that?
Well, I have this thing called Sixth Sense. I don't know if it would apply.
Let's see.
You have an intuition for things good and bad, and it should be this is the start of our scene, so it's just at the start of game session roll soul.
Yeah, Sixth Sense is under what? Is it under spirit?
It's an advantage. Yeah, soul. Under soul.
Under soul. Okay. Yeah. Let's see here. Sixth Sense. I can't remember if these are coming in the new edition, but I really would love fucking cards for each of the edges
I
here.
feel like they have cards. I feel like there are cards.
There aren't so far. I have picked up everything. There are cards for this, but it's like weapons and
oh yeah. It's weapons and
things
actions.
And the actions and stuff. Like it's helpful stuff. It's just I would really love having like a Pathfinder 2 style, nice big oversized cards with each of the things on it. That'd be awesome. So 6 cents. Give us sort of each game session. So give us a soul roll, please.
Guess I just click on see through the illusion.
Yes, please. Yeah.
And do I add anything?
No modifiers.
Okay. Oh,
your instincts will fail to trigger in a dangerous situation. I make a move at some point. Where's that flower crystal?
So I'm like, I probably like stop and like just stare at. How do you know who I am? How the fuck do you know who I am? That's probably how he reacts. But I guess he's confused.
What do you say, Sam?
Joey's confusion is now met with Samuel's confusion because he's screaming the name of actually someone else, and then you're saying, "How do you know my name?" And I'm like, "I don't know your name." I mean, so it's a little bit of who's on first now in the back of the Madam store where Samuel goes, "Your name? What are you talking about? Who are you?" After yelling your name.
Because I'm freaking Joey Novak. Joseph. Only my aunt and my mom called me that. What the hell? And then I guess he's like, then realizing that like where we're here, he's like, I think the madam's in trouble.
And how much do Joey and I know each other again? Let's just
not at all. Okay. I've seen you like my.
Oh yeah, didn't you see me?
I've seen you in passing, and you bumped me to see the madam.
But I don't recognize you at all. Is that right?
I don't
think
so.
I don't know if you recognize him because you've been usually in your own world, and Joey may not have recognized you at first because this is the first time you're wearing a suit. Right? Like you wore a suit and cleaned yourself up.
It's in the back.
So let's just say that Joey, you actually recognize sort of what who Sam is, and then you're like, this is the guy. Like this is the one that Madame Yosefsky always makes a big deal out of.
Yeah.
Right, and you're like, oh, and at that moment, you guys, you hear the sound of what you would recognize, the rattling of the locks at the back. So they're the door that leads from here that is normally, got the big metal grating across it too. Someone's opening that door. What do you guys do?
I think, it's all just happening so fast. So, Samuel's screaming Joey's name, but looking for the wrong person. And then like, what? I have no idea who you are. And then the door, he refocuses on the door. I don't think he brought anything with him. I think he instinctively goes to his belt because of he's going for his gun that he doesn't have. From long practice.
I think, Joe, you probably recognize that motion, right? Like as if he's going for a gun.
Oh wow!
Right, like and not for you, but like he's going for that. But then,
and I'm looking at the door. I'm looking at the door. I turn, and since we both hear that noise, and I go for I go to my belt. There's nothing there, but I go to my belt.
So, and then you realize you don't have a gun on you, do you?
No, I don't think I have anything.
No, okay, shit. So you're holding for the gun, and it's not there. Joey, what
it's just
you?
Instinctual. Yeah.
Joey has like a boot knife, right? He has a.
Okay.
Like a knife in his boot.
Okay.
Right. But Joey's gonna like try to quickly get his phone and show this person the gravity. This is a customer of Madame Yosefsky, so right.
So, to give you guys an idea, what I'm one of the ways that the game it sort of codifies what we normally do in every other RPG, where I'll give you an indication of something that's going to happen. It's like a warning, so like it's one of the soft moves I can make is
gotcha.
Give possible consequences. So in this case, if you guys are in the middle of the alleyway. If you're not taking any effort to hide or whatever else too, whatever's coming out of there is probably going to see you. And unless there is only one person holding Madame Yosefsky, I think, like Sam, you probably have at least some rudimentary hostage, training. If there's more than one thing, if some guy sees her, what Joey just told you that they've got her, right? If you see a guy, if he calls back, then that may cost her life. So, would you guys like to do anything, or are you going to let the scene play out?
If they're going to hide behind some garbage or the dumpster or something like that, if there's one in the alley.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, he's like fumbling for his phone, but then it's like, oh crap, maybe someone's coming.
I mean, you guys could, we could, this could be that like happy coincidence where you both sort of run and try and hide in the exact same place. So you can kind of whisper and like show them your phone and stuff.
I think that's probably what's going to happen, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So then I think what I'd like to do is, why don't you both give us an act under pressure check, please?
Okay.
Or move.
Okay, coolness.
If you got any other modifier, I'll give you.
I do have. I have like the ace up my sleeve, which seems like it can help.
What does that do?
If I get some edges, I have my concealed. Like I remembered my knife. I realize opponent has a weakness that I can exploit. I spot a way out.
Oh yeah, right. Do you have to roll for that?
Yeah, it's a roll coolness.
Okay, hold on.
I mean, if you want me to do that separately,
Yeah. Give us. Yeah. No, set yourself up with some edges here.
Okay.
We'll do that one first.
Oh, very nice.
Nice. So 2 edges. So you could have a small concealed lethal weapon. You realize a weakness. So like the weakness could be like the guy comes out and looks off in the wrong direction, giving you an opportunity to get the drop on the guy. Right. As an example. Now let's give us each act under pressure, please.
So I'll mention the Daredevil again. What do you?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
There are times definitely a yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so just a regular act under pressure. That.
Please, yeah.
All right. So do I need those edges now or just?
You have those edges, and you can choose to cash them in when you like.
Gotcha.
Like you could take the +2 to this roll, for instance, if you like.
Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah, I'll do that. I'll take the +2 to the roll, and then I have another one, right? I got 2. Yeah. Okay, so I'll add a +2 to this roll to stay low, to get maybe the drop on this guy.
Okay. Let's see here.
Hide.
So act under pressure with +2.
Wow,
fucking nice one.
awesome.
Holy shit. 2 10s and
I know.
That's amazing. All right, so
Max.
This ain't Joey's first time hiding from someone who wants to find him.
Oh yeah.
Right.
Wait. Oh, Joey says this is. He'll whisper to Sam.
Yeah.
This is like when I hid from. And I give me a name. Who's the guy who's after me?
Probably Jimmy. I don't know.
The way that Joey kind of tucks him in this one spot, it tells you this ain't the first time he's had to like go out the back door for Madame Yoseveski's thing. He's hiding down in this one spot. Unfortunately, let's see here. You've got a complication.
Maybe I dropped something, or
you know what I think the complication is that there's lingering flashes of seeing, like you keep trying to focus your mind back on Joseph's face, Agent Peters. Mm-hmm. You keep sort of like seeing that. So you held yourself together really well at initially, but you're sort of, there's a bit of a residual sort of. When I'm picturing that sort of as you're hiding, you get against the dumpster, you duck down, but then you keep having this come in. So while Joey's kind of keeping an eye out in the dark to see what's coming out, you sort of turn your back against the dumpster and you're putting your head in your hands, just trying to, So you're still able to act. You were successful. It's just this is causing you some problems right now.
And I'm probably like bumping into Joey. Like I'm kind of like a minor drunk, where I'm not saying, I'm quiet, but I'm kind of bumping him and I'm jostling and sort of, what are you doing?
It's just like, shut up.
Yeah.
So what you see is the door opens, guys, and there are 2 guys, and they look indistinguishable, like straight from Central Casting, the exact same types of guys that you saw going into what's her name? Jenny's place from yesterday. So, Sam, you sort of get your eyes open long enough to see what's happening.
And it's not just guys like them; they're the exact ones. Do I recognize them?
I think that these guys, at first, you see them as them, and you're just like, you think it's them again, and then you sort of double blink and you realize you were mistaken, and. No, it's just 2 guys. Joey, who do you think is someone in your line of work who is a real... let me do this. So There is. I'm going to steal because I like her name so much. There's a guy in a town called Mr. Pearl, and Mr. Pearl he's not like a godfather or anything like that, but he's a guy who has he has a crew that works for him, and he's been in the game for a really long time. Mr. Pearl has a reputation for being incredibly opportunistic in the sense that like he will happily rob lesser hoods because you don't have the chance to fight him for it. So he has his own stuff going on, but he also takes advantage of things. At least one of the guys that walks out of there, they're dressed in kind of similar to honestly how you are, Joey. With winter clothes on and whatnot. Tracksuits, yeah. Hawkeye will forever ruin the tracksuit gangster for me, but at least not for the serious threat of them. These guys work for Mr. Pearl.
Oh, that's weird.
Yeah.
Is Mr. Pearl the same person that I screwed over? Reveal, or do you want me to?
I don't think so. I think that Mr. Pearl. No, because I don't think Mr. Pearl is the one you screwed over. If you did, like you'd be,
in trouble. Okay.
Yeah. Like he's not that powerful. Like he's got some influences and juice behind him, but like he's not a guy who could, he doesn't have the cops under his thumb or anything like that. Whereas like, big time gangsters may.
So these guys are these? So would I be right in that these are like two-bit thugs? They're not like professional necessarily.
These guys are Mr. Pearl.
They're not like from Chicago or New York.
No. These aren't like. So what these guys are though is like these are some serious mean gangsters.
Okay.
Like these guys are. Their stock and trade is the violence that Pearl happily metes out. Pearl is like think of it like he's the shittiest of shitty middle managers of the gangster sort of world. He is obsequious and fawning to anyone who's above him in station, and is merciless and just like the worst. Everybody hates this guy who is less powerful than him, but you just have to deal with him sometime.
So can I I use that other edge to exploit that as a weakness?
Yes, absolutely. What are you thinking of doing? Like what you choose to do will sort of dictate what's actually happening in the scene. So like if you want to use that to say get a drop on them, if you want to deploy violence or something like that, or what other move could you do here?
He's not a violent guy. If there's something I can like influence maybe, like if Mr. Pearl, I mean, maybe these guys really like to gamble, so, and maybe I've done some stuff for them and they've won some money, maybe, because I guess I would try to influence them to like, I don't want to get the drop on them, but I want to distract them, and say I'm not a threat. What's going on? What do you fancy meeting you here? What's going on? I didn't know you were here. Hey, do you want to bet on the game? That type of thing. Just to kind of.
Okay, so what do you see happening if you're successful in that?
That maybe this other guy can go in, and if he's going for a gun, maybe he's competent. So maybe this other guy I can distract while this other guy goes in and sees what's happening. Oh,
like you distract these guys so that Sam could go in.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, I get that. Yeah. Okay.
I guess it's influence.
I think that sounds maybe? So. Sam, you're sort of still struggling with what's going on, and then you see.
I go. I know these guys.
Yeah, sure, it runs out, and like they both clearly have guns on them, right?
So I'm whispering back Joseph to Joey. Joseph.
I mean, it could go really bad, but he's got a good. That's his thing. He's got a good charisma. So.
He's got an angle. He's going to run it.
And then this is a meaningful person to him. That if this is like luck. This is like, oh my gosh, these guys are like,
Okay, so here we go. I'm grabbing.
So how do I do this?
Sorry, what I was grabbing is my. This is the reference deck that we were talking about before.
Oh, cool.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
Okay, so what you'll do is This will be an influence
I set up
other.
a little game for them, and then you go. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, and
We'll see.
Yeah, so give you a +2 to your influence other check from your edge. So you still have one edge in this scene that you can cash in. So why don't you give us a?
No, I used that on the hiding thing, the act under pressure.
Oh, so this will be your last edge. You could do the exact same thing. Get a +2 from this.
Yeah.
Okay. So go ahead and make your influence other roll.
Okay.
Let's see here.
I got a good chance.
Come on.
Oh no.
Okay, so choose one option from below. You,
That's influence other, yeah.
let's see here. Hold on, that's other PC. So the do what you're asked, but I choose demands better compensation. Complications will arise in a future time. Gives in for the moment. Will change your mind and regret it later. Okay. So what do we see as Joey runs out to these guys?
Goes, oh man, what a quit! Hey, I have the line on the latest Pistons game. I'm I can give you the.
They both have guns trained on Joey.
Some inside information.
But Joey surprisingly seems to not be concerned by it. His mouth, at least, does not stop for a second. Keeps talking, and as he's talking to these guys, they're at what are you doing here? Why are you back here? Novak, what the hell are you here for?
I just, sometimes I walk through these alleys and take shortcuts, and holy crap, it's the dice gods, man. The dice gods, or the betting gods, however, whichever god you pray to.
So you basically have a short window here before they're going to remember that Joey's the one who's coming here. Joey's just sort of surprised them enough and is talking nonsense to bamboozle them for a second. Sam, what do you want to do? You've collected yourself enough now?
Is it possible that maybe either he's kind of collected himself but kind of not? Is it possible that he thinks his former partner is doing this? He's like, yeah. Joseph's bamboozling him.
And you're seeing, briefly, you're seeing, in place of Joey, you're seeing Joseph as you remember him, in his suit, kind of talking to these guys, talking about the Rams game and whatnot.
He's fast talking him, we did that all the time.
And then he flashes into that, that haggard, full beard, injured face, dirty, kind of talking as well. And then back to Joey. And those two guys in the tracksuits are flashing back to, those thugs that you faced, the guy you killed, the one you had to face hand to hand. They're there for a moment and then back to normal. You're having a really hard time distinguishing what the hell's actually going on right now.
I'm gonna try to get in the. I mean, my intention is to try to hug the shadows against the wall and try to slip in the door.
So that sounds to me like you're acting under pressure. Yeah. So why don't you give us? And I think because of the distraction, I'll give you a +1 to this.
Okay, that's not bad.
Yeah.
I'm sure I'm gonna owe Mr. Pearl something later. That complication.
Well, I mean, if it's Mr. Pearl who sent you the text message, then he's the one who, they've been waiting for you to get here, right? Okay, so it's with complications. So I think what the complication is, you successfully make your way across the alleyway, scramble along. These guys are talking, and you can see, again, they're shifting between what's really here and what isn't there and whatever. And you go walking into, the open door, and you sort of had braced yourself because every time you walk into Madame Yozoveski's, there's always that sort of, it's like walking across a call, right? Mm-hmm. Like some kind of barrier that
threshold.
Exactly. Yeah. And by entering in, you sort of, it's that similar feeling, and just because you're feeling quite raw right now, that it is something you're gonna have to brace yourself for, and it feels honestly like if someone had poured a bucket of ice water down your naked back. Is the feeling of as you race in. So you've closed your eyes. And as you open them up, what you realize, Madame Yozoveski's place is not all that large. You can see walking down the hallway, there's someone who's turned their back and is sneezing. Maybe that's what they did, is they sneezed. They sneezed, and you can see there's another thug, a third thug, that's going to join the two of them. And you sort of fuck, if you'd had your eyes open, you would have seen this before. So you may need to do something. Let's cut back to Joey. Joey, you're sort of doing a good job of talking back and forth, and they're like, wait. The other one's like, hey, this is the one he wants. And they now are going to try and grab hold of you and bring you kind of in. Are you going to let that happen, or are you doing anything? Oh, no, I'm going to try to now, like, not violence. Is there a way to escape? Yeah. What the condition I'm going to try and impose on you? Because I mean, if he runs away, then these guys chase after him. It's 2 less people. Hopefully, they won't shoot him. Yeah. Avoid harm? Would it be avoid harm? Avoid. I think so. This one is just they're trying to get a hold of you right now. So if you just give us an avoid harm. Okay. Hey. Which one is avoid? Oh. I should have saved my +2 for this. There you go. Nice. There you go. So where is it that we see you running off to? I'm gonna go like back. I don't want to go through these little alleys. I want to get back in public. Okay. So I start running in. Although if they probably don't want to be seen in the street, so maybe I will take some out in the back alleys. Okay. Like I'll go back towards that dumpster and try to like jump over the fence, you know. Awesome. Okay, so we're seeing you running, and the 2 of them are like, hey! And they're running after you too. So I may be taking another move in a moment here. Sam, what is it you were doing? So you can see this guy's about to turn around and see you. Sam's going to try to maybe use his knowledge of the office to that he's spent some time in to duck either a doorway or a counter or a set, even just a set of chairs, if that's all he's got. So I'll give you a +1 to this, and this will be act under pressure once again. Okay. Yeah. Success with complication. So I think what happens is you look around, and maybe there's a what do you think, a closet or a bathroom or maybe I mean that could be it could be just a broom closet, like something super small. Yeah. Like, he's got to kind of squeeze in I think the complication is you're sort of like, you throw yourself in there and you sort of close it and you realize, oh, Christ. Right. And it might not even open from the inside, your call, but, I don't know. But, I go squeezing into this little space. Well, here's what happens is, so you, as soon as you close that, you hear some shouting, and then you hear the pop of a gun or two. And this other guy who was on the hallway runs to the end of the hallway. I'm picturing this is sort of like right near the closet that you're in is right near where you get out into the backyard or to the back alley. They hear shouting, and this guy who sneezed then gets his attention. He runs to the end of the alley or the hallway, and he's shouting at them. And they shout back, "Watch her! Watch her! We'll get him!" So this guy is now... and then what you hear is another voice from somewhere deeper, like further down the hallway, muffled a little bit by the door. Who was that? And looks back and says, I think it was Novak. And the voice has a kind of like drawled, not drawled like a southern accent kind of way, but like it seems to really relish each word. Like it can take as long and as much of your time as it wants to. Sound like the guy played Sam Adams. What's that actor's name? The guy played John Adams. Oh, Paul Giamatti? Yeah. Oh, maybe. Yeah. Giamatti would be good casting for Mr. Pearl. Yeah. So. Yeah. And I nothing of this is familiar to me, right, Kevin? I mean, you're not really someone who deals with local crime, and Mr. Pearl's not really someone who would get to the level of the FBI's attention necessarily. Yeah. I mean, he's not like organized crime in kind of a, and I mean realistically, the FBI hasn't been as concerned with organized crime for the last 20 years, so its focus has been elsewhere. Right. So I think that the name doesn't ring a bell whatsoever, but it.
He sounds like a thug, probably.
Yeah, and when he says, the last thing you hear from that voice is, "Keep an eye on that door. Let me know when Mr. Novak is back, and we can have our chat." Now, what to occupy our time with, Ms. Yozoveski? And you can hear him stopping, and you can't... It may be worrying to you more than anything else you've heard that you hear no response from her. You know that the thug is standing outside that door. You are trapped in this closet. Let's cut to Mike.
I'll just offer that I think Samuel's thoughts probably do one of those like law enforcement flashes where he thinks, well, you don't talk to dead people, so she's not dead. Like he's thinking to himself, you know, like at least she's alive, but she didn't respond, so she's either gagged or she's unconscious. So he's going through these, like, you see him like flash from this confusion and Joseph Peters and all this nonsense, and all of a sudden there's order, and he's going through this checklist, this law enforcement checklist, and that's where we can, you know, maybe.
Is he struggling against panic, or is he keeping a control over himself right now?
I think the fact that he's going through the checklist calms him because it gives him purpose. You know, he's not struggling against the veil at the moment. You know, he suddenly snaps into and he's reaching for his gun again, like, oh, you know, I got to do something about that or something like that. You know, of not having anything.
Okay. All right, so we cut to Mike, and this is a night, so it's probably the same evening now where Mike is arriving. Where do you think you live, Mike? What kind of is it an apartment, condo, house? What do you think?
I think it's probably one of the older apartment blocks, you know, the traditional style with the outside iron fire escape type, you know, the old school one. Okay. So probably in one of the less developed areas compared to Amber.
Okay.
So so he's not going to walk straight in. He's going to like try and walk up and observe from outside. Are there any cars with people in outside?
Yeah. So you have a... What is yours? Is it coolness that is your burglar ability or whatever it's called? Don't you have burglar?
Coolness, yeah.
Yeah. So why don't we do this then? Let's, why don't you give us a burglar move here?
Okay.
Or check on burglar. So that'll be coolness. Look at that. So you have three options here, and you can spend them any time during this scene, and the options are on page 105 of the core rulebook. You can silently open a locked door with few moments. You neutralize an alarm. You bust a lockbox or safe in less than 2 minutes. You avoid being discovered, or you trick someone into believing you belong here for a limited time.
Okay, I think not being discovered, but would be the obvious one.
Okay. So you can spend one to not being discovered. If you would like, do you want to see if anyone's here, or is your primary interest in getting in?
I think trying to work out if there is someone watching the place, because I'm getting a little, not paranoid, but it's weird how they keep following me.
Absolutely. Why don't you give us, that sounds to me like an observe a situation move.
Is that investigate?
That is perception. Observe a situation is perception. That's one of the default moves.
Oh, right. Hang on, maybe it's on the other page.
Yeah, it's on the same page as all your stats are.
Oh, sorry. Couldn't see it there for the trees.
That's okay.
Oh, okay.
Oh. So, you get to ask me a question, but you get no bonus for it, and you miss something, attract unwanted attention or you expose yourself to danger, I get to make a move. So your questions you can ask are, what's my best way through this? What currently poses the biggest threat? What can I use to my advantage? What should I be on the lookout for? What's being hidden from me? What seems strange about this? If your question is are there people watching the door?
Is that something strange, I think? Non-standard.
If there's something strange is when you are presented with a situation, whether there is something unnatural. Like that's how I would interpret that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, okay.
Right, because remember you used that successfully on the package, right? When Jenny first delivered the package to the FBI. What you seem to have been asking about is whether there is anyone asking. So why don't I answer that one? There are. So you are near, and what you can see is that there are 2 thugs sitting in a car, like within clear. You were trained at the Bureau for surveillance, and these guys are using classic, trained tactics to observe your apartment. Mm-hmm. Not only does this have a handy view of the entrance, it also has a handy view of your apartment. So if, for instance, someone went in and was using lights to flash around to see things, they would be able to spot that ideally as well. And what I'm doing is I'm reconciling your use of burglar with this, so they're not going to spot you because you've already successfully made use of that one of the 3 things you get from burglar. But there is something else lurking. So, Mike, what do you do?
With that burglar roll, can I assume that I'm like sneaking in through the fire escape?
Yes, you can enter your apartment without being seen for.
Yeah. And given I know they're out there, I'm not going to turn the lights on, but I'm going to first check if the place has been turned over, and then check my gun safe is okay.
Okay.
And retrieve my personal weapon.
Okay.
And the spare ammo I keep there.
Yeah.
And
might I make a suggestion?
Mm-hmm.
Because is your character kind of... I mean, you're a burglar, right? So you would probably have one of these things anyway. I think what you pull out is a red flashlight. Because the red light doesn't travel as far as white light. So you can use it for short, to illuminate things at a short distance, but it doesn't travel as far as what the others do. So you get yourself up there and you can get in to the... you get up to your window. Is there any kind of like security alarm you've got set up on there?
Yes, thinking about it, you probably would have.
But I'm fine with you disabling it. You don't need to spend another...
Yeah. Assuming he's got a ring doorbell or something that would record, and it's probably just a doorway.
Okay.
He's not going to cover the entire
apartment. I'm sorry, are you going in through the fire escape or through the main entrance?
Fire escape.
Okay, that's what I thought. So you get to the window, and you can see that there's a way maybe that you can, with your, you keep a little multi-tool on you. You can use it to disable the alarm, and you get yourself, I think you start getting ready to pull the door open, and something doesn't quite feel right about this. And you look, there is someone... they're trying to keep themselves hidden. They're trying to sit in the darkness, but they're sort of like one of those things where like a car passes by outside and the headlights sort of reflect off of a certain thing. You can see the silhouette of someone sitting in your favorite chair from the window. Now, you're still good enough right now. You've spent your burglar thing, so the people outside have not seen you. You still have 2 more uses of burglar. You could get in here without this person seeing you as well, but it is a person who's in there, so there may be some risk with...
I think, you avoid being discovered by someone.
Okay.
Do you want me to use the neutralize the alarm as part of that?
No. I'm fine with that. Just being that's something that your character would have set up anyway too, and then I want to leave you with one tantalizing final use of burglar. So you get yourself in there, and it's so silent. How would you? How would you reconcile? Because the thing I'm thinking of in the room. Because of time of year, as soon as that window opens, there's going to be an immediate. You're going to know windows open in the apartment, right?
I'm kind of assuming it would be like a kitchen or something.
No, but what I'm saying is that if it's an apartment, like
assuming.
Yeah, like and. I can't remember how cold it gets in the UK, but like for here, right? Like the way it's been the last little couple of days, if the door's open at one end of my house, I can fucking feel it at the other end of the house because there's that draft that just kind of cuts through. How do you think you would deal with that? Because our burglar thing tells you that you can.
I don't know. Maybe can I make it seem like the windows just come open, or whatever has come open naturally, and just in the wind or some other thing.
Yeah.
In an old building.
Okay. Yeah, that sounds good. So it, so you maybe it's like shuttered windows as opposed to like sliding windows. So you get the things open and step away into the kitchen, hide yourself behind maybe like a float, like an island, and this person gets up and walks over to the window, and you can hear them mutter something in a language you don't understand, but sounds definitely kind of Russian or quasi-Slavic. The door closed, and they close the thing. There's cursing, and the two words that do come clearly is piece of shit. Mm-hmm. And this person goes back, and in the silhouette, you can see that they definitely have a firearm with them as well, like out and on them. And the length of the barrel either suggests a submachine gun or a silenced handgun. So you have one burglar left, and you have an intruder in your apartment. What is Mike doing?
I think he's going to try and sneak up behind him, assuming it's the favourite chair that's in front of the TV.
Okay.
So, and he's basically going to say, FBI, drop the gun.
Okay. Do you have a weapon with you?
Oh, yeah.
But have you checked to see if it's still functioning?
Oh, yes, that... Well, it's a Glock. They're pretty solid. Oh, yeah, you will have to make a...
So, again, like, the simulation and stuff, all out the window.
Yeah, just check whether it's still functioning after the trip through Ernestine's...
There's only one way you're really going to test that.
Yeah. Well, he doesn't know it's been through the fish tank, so...
Okay.
So this would be, I suppose, charisma to so like.
Well, first it's going to be. I'll let you. So to approach and set up this move, that'll be your last use of burglar.
Yep.
Okay. So then this will be to influence other. I am going to give you a -2 on this because these guys are hardcore badasses.
Okay.
So go ahead and give us an influence other roll. Nice. All right, so you
make up for the one.
Okay, so you put your gun to the back of his head, kind of stops, and then slowly moves the gun to the side, and then places it, or maybe just drops it to the ground. What do you do next?
Well, kick the gun away, and then I'm going to one-handedly take my handcuffs and pass them to him and say, put those on.
You're not... I don't think FBI agents carry handcuffs as a routine part of their day. And you've never been back to the office, and you've never retrieved any handcuffs. Like you're not like it's not like a county sheriff or a police officer where you've got your like utility belt that has all that shit on there, right?
No. It's just they do have arrest powers. Okay.
That is a completely different thing from having the means of securing the person.
Okay, so I've got him at gunpoint, and right, I'm just going to say, well, who are you, and why are you in my apartment?
he starts talking in a language that you don't understand. It doesn't seem like he's trying to explain himself. It seems like he is threatening you.
Swearing at me. Yeah.
He turns around, so that he's facing you. If you can try and stop him if you'd like, but he's otherwise going to turn around, hands up, and face you.
Yeah, I'll say in English, no suspicious movements.
Okay. He turns around, and if you picture sort of like I know it's not the right ethnicity, but like a really scarily calm Dave Bautista kind of thing, of just like great big, dude, he's a little taller than what you are. He looks down at you and just keeps talking. His eyes in this light seem completely black. Not his pupils, with the irises. Hi, Anna says hi to everyone. Hi, Goober. What do you do?
So, do you speak English?
Yes.
Why are you attacking me, and what has happened to Amber?
So many questions.
I've got plenty of bullets.
Oh?
Well, back in the old country, they used to do the, Belfast kneecap.
He looks in. You think you're scary, small man.
Well, I've shot about 4 of your friends, put it that way. Ask them.
There are so many more to come. And he steps forward towards you.
I'll step back and effectively double-handed hold the pistol and say, no more moves. Now go over there.
What? Or what? And he takes another step towards you.
Don't make any suspicious cross-body movements.
Did you step back or did you talk?
Yeah, I'm going to step back, but I'll say, don't make me shoot you, because the judge is looking at me.
And he jumps in towards you, and we'll find out what happens when we get back from our mid-session break. So, for those listening at home, we'll be back momentarily to see what happens to Mike. It'd be a pretty dick thing to cut away from that scene and go back to the other guys, right? So back momentarily.
All right, well, I can take my time making my drink then. Right.
All right. We finally had a break from our cold snap we had the last little while, so Anna has just been spending every waking moment outside, just tearing ass through the snow. So it's been great.
Nice.
Yeah. It's been
How cold is it now? How cold is it now?
So it was -2 yesterday Celsius, which I think is like 20, maybe warmer. I can't remember. I think I mentioned to you guys, I've got my work computer. They did a reset for something or other with it, so now for whatever reason it displays the temperature in Fahrenheit. So I routinely, like when I'm at work, I'm still working from home, but when I'm on the work computer, I look down, I'm like, oh, it's not that bad. And then I'll look over at my personal computer where like music or whatever else is playing, and I'm like, oh fuck, Fahrenheit, right?
That's right. That damn Fahrenheit.
It's only
stuff.
-2 out. It's fuck, that's -25. All right.
Right.
Really bad.
Yeah.
No, it's nice. We get these. We talked about it during the Acton Cthulhu game. The same winds that Vienna gets. Well, we get them here, as we call them, Chinooks. And what a fucking difference! Like it was -30 on Friday night, to the point where like the pipe to my washing machine froze, so I couldn't do.
Oh, man.
Yeah, which is awesome, because like that's when you want to discover the pipes are frozen, is when you've put like laundry detergent on your sheets. You're like
On your.
Oh man.
Fortunately, like with Chinook came in, and like we were able to get the pipes were thawed by yesterday, so. Just those.
That's good.
Because of climate change, like we're seeing a lot more, a lot worse winters here than we used to, and a lot hotter summers. And the trouble is, like, the houses weren't built with -35 degree temperature in mind, because we rarely got that, and they're not built for 25, 30 above, because we didn't used to get that kind of weather.
Yep.
Yeah. Anyway. I know, for Carl complaining about 30-degree temperatures, nothing compared to what you guys get in the summer, but it's plenty hot here. All right. So, then, guys, we are going to cut.
Oh, no.
This game is nothing if not fantastically dramatic. So, we cut to Joey running across the roof, or not rooftops, through the alleyways.
Back alleys, yeah.
Okay, so I think what we're going to need from you is... I think we're just going to model this as avoiding harm. Because these guys are firing at you.
Oh, man.
Trying to get you to stop. So then, let's see here. Hi, what's up? Anna wants to play. Oh, jeez. Honey, I got a reminder, we don't roll dice in this. I'm sorry, I don't have any dice for you to roll. So then, can you think of, is there anything that you can think of that is going to affect your roll?
I mean, the ace up the sleeve, I don't know if I don't know how often you can use these, but whenever someone's got you up against a wall.
Let's take a look at the phrasing.
Yeah.
I think it's scene based, right? And we're still sort of in that scene, even though.
Okay. I don't know how it.
Let's take a look here. It's under coolness, right?
Yeah, because then I could get a way out, like duck somewhere where I could get that's what it has, on a way out.
Whenever. So this is whenever someone's got you up against a wall or in a tight spot, roll coolness. It doesn't say scene, and there is a consequence if it doesn't go your way.
Yeah, there's also, need to look at Streetwise too. Maybe
Streetwise, sure, let's see. Streetwise is what, intuition?
Streetwise is charisma.
Oh, charisma, okay.
Oh, I think that's more like talking to people. I think that's like
Streetwise doesn't literally mean what street you're on.
Yeah.
Oh, man. It's like that scene from, what do you call it, The Wire. Where are you, Detective Nolte? I'm standing eastbound, east facing on whatever.
Yep.
Yeah.
From Bunk.
All right, so I guess Ace.
See, Streetwise.
Ace it is.
Yeah.
So I roll that first, right?
Yes. Yeah.
And then we roll the other.
Yep. So let's see here. So go ahead and just give us a flat coolness check here. Ooh, interesting. So you get one edge. You may spend it at any time during the scene, and there's no consequence. So you're racing along.
I do have a complication though.
Well, so the reason it's saying success with complications is because that is the result for act under pressure. if I'm looking at Ace Up Your Sleeve, what it says is that you may spend at any time during the scene get 1 edge. If you'd rolled a 9 or less, you get your 1 edge, but then the situation is made worse, and I get to make a move.
Oh, gotcha. Okay. Well, I guess that's why it's a advantage as opposed to.
Yeah.
All right. So now I do.
So what do you think your edge?
Harm.
Yeah. Now for this one, what I'm thinking, like narratively, is like playing on what we said before. Like this is not your first time having to run. People know you go to.
I know. I ran in the last session too. Yeah. I saw that car pull up. I'm like, I'm out of here.
Okay. So we see you going by. There's like the same, homeless person's cart you knock over behind you. Aye!
Yeah.
So go ahead and give us an avoid harm check, please.
And I'm going to use that 2+2 edge.
Okay.
To,
yep.
You spot a way out. Okay.
Success. Okay. All right. So the bullets are flying past your head. The walls are exploding. It's ricocheting off of not exploding, but like you can hear them connect with the brick walls. And you're keeping your distance from them. They're not able to catch up to you.
And he's like, and Joey's probably cussing the whole fuck.
Slipping and sliding in the snow. Sam, we'll cut back to you. What do you like to do?
At least I got him on a chase. I got him.
Yeah. I'm in the broom closet, right?
You're in the broom closet. Is there any more heroic question to be asked? I'm stuck in a broom closet, right?
Crack FBI agent. Oh, wait. No. Yeah. Let's see. I think Samuel... So he goes through his checklist and he's feeling, I mean, he's not feeling good, but he's feeling better. And then he finishes that and he's like, I'm screwed. Like I don't think he knows what to do. He's upset for the madam. And where specifically is the second guy? Not the strange talker, but the first guy that he saw in there. Where is? Can you tell? Can you see?
You think like if you open the door, he's going to be standing right there at the back door, keeping an eye out for where those two went chasing after Joey.
He is. I think he's.
I don't think it's to the point
to
you got a complication here. It's not like a barrier, so he's not standing in front of the door, preventing you from opening it. It's just that it'll be tricky to open the door and not have him be aware that that's what's happening.
Yeah,
that makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay.
Without being noticed. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if there's anything he can do that's not 0 to 100. I think he
feels beyond the standard moves. What options do you have available to you?
Let's see. I mean, he could. I could put him in a situation for the contagious insanity. Is basically that's his big move. That's his so I could narratively position him for that, where he's just getting he feels helpless. I think that's not strange. I mean, in this situation and given who he is now, I think he feels helpless and he feels fairly confident that she's alive, but she didn't respond, so that's bad. And these people are obviously no good. They're speaking hood is basically the way he'd say it in his old days. Oh, they were speaking hoodlum, this kind of thing. I think he's gonna charge the guy at the door. I mean, that's what he's got left. I mean, I don't think there's not too much sneaking around to be done at this point. Like he can't. That's not going to work out.
Okay.
I mean, he's looking for every other avenue, and he's like, nope, and he's going to charge that guy.
Okay. So then, are you just going to burst the door open and go after him, or are you going to try?
And he goes, like he very un-FBI like goes, He just charges the guy.
So then, let's do this. That sounds to me like you're engaging in violence, or engaging in combat, and you're unarmed right now, right? Is there anything in the closet you think you can pick up?
Wait. How about right before he does that, he's going to... Oh, nice. Yeah, because he's going to take a real quick inventory quietly in that broom closet as we make fun of it. He's going to take a little look. Yeah, like, what's in here anyway?
Yeah.
You know, is there like
I think there's, this shit's like a baseball bat, a hammer, or a crowbar. Can you conceivably think of anything in there that would fit that description?
Well, I mean, only the light version, a broom, he could take the pole, he could take a quarterstaff, sort of a pole to shove in this guy's face, which is it's not terrible. It's not a club, but it's not, is there anything heavy in here that he could, let's see, is there anything in a broom closet?
What would be a broom or
vacuum?
Closet? There might be a board.
Yeah.
A
shelf, like a shelf that you stack, the real cheap shelves that you stack, a board shelf.
Yeah, I buy that. See, grab that piece, okay?
Yeah, that's a 2x. In essence, that's a 2x4. He grabs his improvised 2x4 and says, "Well, thinks to himself, I guess this is it. This is not exactly a submachine gun, but off we go.
Okay. So then, what you will be using? Hold on here. I'm trying to get. Where are you? Stats here. Threats. Here we go. I should have grabbed the last time I had the book. Actually, I'm just gonna grab a book. Give me 1 second here.
Yeah.
That's cool. You should have kneecapped him, Mo.
I think I might need to do a 50-50.
Sorry, but that's what I have. I know the adventures have stats for like generic thugs in them, which is not in the core book. So it's easy to take and repurpose that shit. Let's see here. And there we go. It's important NPCs, people and creatures. Here we go. Henchman. All right, okay. So, yes, all right. What you're going to be doing is making a engaging combat check, and for this board, here's your options, or the metal pole. Your options are to pummel, maul, and crush to do 2 points of damage, knock down, doing 1 point of damage and it knocks target to the ground, or knock out, 1 point of damage and the target is knocked out. PCs must make an endure injury to avoid getting knocked out. So this is...
I'll go with the last one.
Last one, okay. Try and knock this guy out. All right, so go ahead. I'm going to give you a -1 to it only because you got to kind of like throw the door open and then race over. So I think it's a little less straightforward than just going to brain this guy. I'm going to go right ahead.
There it is. Okay, so let's see.
So failure.
He might trip on the way. He might just he's all fury and really no
I think
no
he
ability.
sees you. He sees sort of like, the sound of the door being thrown open. You started shouting before you opened the door. So as soon as you came over, he sort of was able to get his hands up. And I make a move. So I think what I'm going to need from you is he's going to try and like wrestle you to the ground. So why don't you give us an avoid harm check? See if you can get yourself out of this.
There
Nice. Excellent. So what do you think we see happen?
I think I'm picturing, so I go, and I like do this kind of, awkward overhead kind of thing. He just grabs it, just bonk, in his hands.
Yeah.
And then he tries to shove me back and we switch positions. So I actually I managed to, instead of awkwardly tripping like he wanted me to, I use it to switch. I get out of the way of his shove.
Yep. All right. So
now my back is to the door, maybe. If and he's on the inside, sort of on the inside side. Yeah.
So we cut back to Joey. Joey, it seems like you are going to get your way out of here. I got my Blower Crystal to cash in. And what happens is you have clear way of getting away. And what you see is that there is, as you run around one alleyway, the entire thing is blocked by a sanitation truck. And you sort of fuck. So you're going to have to figure a different way to sort of get away from than just following this route that you were going to follow.
Is there a way up, or can I hitch a ride on the sanitation truck?
You could maybe you could scramble on top of the sanitation truck. You could try and make a combination of that and then the
it's dangerous, but roll under it.
Oh yeah, you could scramble under. Whichever way you go, it sounds to me like it's going to be an act under pressure check.
Act under pressure.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Okay.
What are you thinking?
That's better for me than, or reflexes is worse for me. Your call.
I think it's going to be coolness first, because avoid the reflex, will, and fort. Those are all for reacting to things.
Okay.
So what are you thinking? Down under? Because the only reason I want to get an understanding is because that may have an impact on how whatever's chasing you may react, right?
Right. I want to keep them chasing. Like if I go on top and I go, haha, bye guys, then they'll go back.
Yep.
So I'm going to go under.
Okay.
So I can, flip them off from the other side of the street.
Sounds good. So you're going under the truck?
Yep.
Okay, give us an act under pressure. Let's see what happens here.
Oh.
Okay.
It happens, but.
Okay, so a high choice, unexpected outcome, a high price, or a difficult choice. I like difficult choice. So let me think about. So you get down on all fours and you're scrambling along through here, and you're easily able to make your way underneath this. I think what the choice is you can let's see you can remain hidden here, because what you hear is the two, sounds like the two sanitation workers are actually having a smoke break. So they're talking outside of the cab, and they're walking to either side. So you've really got they're getting back in the truck here. They're going to get driving away. So what you can do is remain silent and remain where you are. You're not going to get run over or anything. It's a straight alleyway, so you're not going to get hurt. But it means that in a moment or so you're going to get revealed if they drive away immediately. Or you can scramble out the front of it, and it'll put a position between you and the other guys, but it's likely that these sanitation workers will react, which might alert your pursuers.
I think I want to, so that means they're going to keep pursuing, which means I could get some bodily harm, but I think I want them to keep pursuing, because that's the whole idea is to keep them away.
Okay, so we see you sort of wiggle out from under the front of the truck as the guys are getting into the big dump truck or garbage truck, and they look down like, "Hey, what are you doing under there? Hey, what are you screwing around for?" And you can hear, in the film version, we'd cut to the two pursuers sort of look over, and they both sort of start running over in your direction. So you're on the other side. You get up. You're just filthy from having crawled through this frozen or the snow and whatnot and the melt. What do we see Joey do next?
He's gonna taunt them. He's gonna say, "No more bets for you. Nothing on the house anymore." He's gonna take off running again.
Okay. So then, why don't you give us one more avoid harm, please?
Okay.
Check.
He falls flat on his ass, or they shoot him.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Success with complication. You avoid the worst of it, but I
Look
decide.
at that, 1 in a 10. That's so crazy.
Oh man! So you avoid the worst of it. The GM decides if you end up in a bad spot, lose something, or partially sustain harm. I think what happens is you said you had like a puffy jacket on, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think what happens is you're yelling at them and taunting, and one of the shots just explodes the feathers and whatnot. Like the shot comes very fucking close to where you are, and you sort of stagger back and poof, you fall down and you tumble over like someone has put a like a trash can or something on the side of the alleyway that you tumble over, and sort of it's going to take you a moment to get up, and you see that these guys are like run along the sides of this thing to get to you.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. But you're not actually injured. Cut back to Sam. You're struggling with this guy. What are you doing?
I am. I'm gonna go for the gun. I'm gonna presume he's got a gun. I'm gonna go for his belt.
Okay. So let's see here. I think that's going to be engaging combat then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
So, and you got no modifiers to it? Just whatever. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. There we go. Oh.
Interesting. Yeah.
Okay, so you inflict the damage, but at a cost. So do less damage than intended, lose something important, expend all your ammo, beset by a new threat. I think you're... Ooh.
I mean, an extreme version would be that I get the gun, but it goes off, and I get hit in the foot, or I hit in the leg or something. I got the gun, but I'm shot. That'd be an extreme.
What is remind me again, what is it? I thought you had some kind of like, a reminder or something, like a necklace or something like that.
Oh.
Did you have something that reminded you of Joseph? Or am I wrong about that?
I'm almost certain we discussed it. Let me think. I was thinking that I had something of maybe Jenny's. But one or the other, the Peters.
Like, is it like a locket with Jenny's?
Her hair, because I was her godfather, right? So it's kind of maybe it's a godfather thing. One of those things you give to the godfather. I don't know,
maybe like a locket with a picture of her as like on her christening.
Yeah, maybe that was it. Yeah.
Okay, so then what? As you're struggling, you manage to. He gets in pretty close to you, and the locket gets knocked off and falls to the ground, and sort of, and he steps on it, and his boot shifts, and it knocks it outside somewhere. But then you get the gun from him.
Okay.
Okay. So then, as we sort of see this is cutting back and forth now, we see Sam. You have the gun on this guy. Joey, these two are walking up towards you, and you're sort of blinded by the lights of the garbage truck right now as they sort of walk out the sides. And then what we hear is a single crack, like a rifle. And Joe, you're covered, or Samuel, you're covered in gore and brain matter as this thing's head explodes. And Joey, you see both of these guys just like rag dolls or like puppets with their strings cut. There's a crack, a single shot, and both kind of hit up against the truck. The what do you call it? The garbage, the sanitation workers are like, "What the hell? What the hell, man?" And we're cutting back and forth between you two.
Wait, so Sam's guys got shot, and then my guys got shot.
What Joey hears is one gunshot, a rifle for sure. It's got that whip crack sound to it. Mm-hmm. And both of these guys drop. And Sam, you've only heard one rifle shot, and it hits you almost at the same time as the brain matter sprays across you, ruining your one good suit.
Right, and my locket's gone.
Your locket's on the ground.
Mess.
Ha! So and it's like, as you had the gun, like, first, I think what we're leaving this scene with is you thinking that, like, did you accidentally fucking shoot him?
Right. That's what I was thinking too. I mean,
Yeah,
I think,
like what happened here?
Yeah, I think Samuel's a mess. I mean, he's already been flashing back and forth.
Yeah,
and,
yeah.
What's reality, what's not. He's kind of thinking he just shot him. Like, what? As he's like wiping viscera out of his mouth.
Yeah.
He's just like, he's probably on the verge of, he's probably starting to, like, he might be starting to break the contagious insanity. His eyes are starting to, like, kind of dim a little. Like, he's starting to lose it a little.
Would you give us a soul check, please?
Okay.
Okay. So, as you're struggling with this, there's a brief moment when you have a vision of, once again, a shot being fired, but this time you're in a crowd, and it sounds like a parade. That there's people who are celebrating and people who are happy. You are sitting at a cafe, and there's a sandwich in front of you, and you hear something from outside. People more like the sounds of merriment. And as you look out, you see something stand up, leaving your sandwich behind, race out of the cafe. You pull a gun out, and pushing your way through the crowd, you hear pack, pack, pack as you fire into a man and woman. And as it hits them, screams
crazy.
all cry up from within the crowd.
Nice.
And you see just everything falls away, and it's just blackness. And the blood that is flowing out of these two is just like, it's beginning to fill up to your knees, and then your waist, and then up towards you, almost as if you are drowning in this. The two figures are almost lost right away. And the feeling and wave that you have go over you is a feeling of triumphant success and satisfaction.
That is awesome, Kevin. I get this scene. I just saw it on like a history thing. That's awesome.
So then, Sam, you are back in. I'd like you to reduce your stability by 1, please, from having seen through the illusion.
Did I recognize? Do I know who they are at all? The two?
Does Sam?
Does Sam? I mean.
If you think about it or consider it in further detail, perhaps. I think we've already established Sam's sort of ignorance of that period of history.
Okay.
That this dates from, but we cut back now to Mike's apartment. So, Mike, sounds like you're engaging in combat here. So, why don't you go ahead and give us an engage in combat roll? You're trying to get the shot off before this thug can step forward on you.
Any modifiers?
Yes, one thing you need to decide is, hold on, you got a handgun. So you choose whether you are doing combat shooting, which will do 2 damage, costing you 1 of your 4 ammo. Overkill, which will do 3. It should kill any like normal adversary at 2 ammo. And that's it. The other one's multiple targets, but you're only shooting at 1 guy right now.
I think just combat shooting.
Okay, trying to injure this guy and not to kill him outright. Okay, no modifiers, no.
Yeah, let me just park that there, so I've got it for later.
Success with complications. All right, so you do shoot. It hits this guy, but he gets in through that. Like, this guy is, again, like at least 4 inches taller than you, and he's got to have at least, I guess in British terms, he's got to have at least 3 stone on you. Gets in and just like fucking pulls that gun that you just shot him with out of your hand, and it skitters across the floor. That's the complication from it.
Okay.
I'm going to take a move now, and he is going to try and muscle you to the ground, just so like pull you back into the kitchen, you know, and knock you to the ground. So I need you to give us a avoid harm check, please.
Okay.
Nice. So what does Mike do to get out of this guy? He's
presumably he tries to grab me, and I use his movement against him because he's heavy.
Yep.
And I sort of like
nice.
flip him over but basically just effectively use his weight and momentum and sort of try and sort of push him off me.
Yeah. Yep.
So he goes one way and I go the other.
Okay. You get to make a move now. What would you like to do? He stumbles into the kitchen, kind of turns back towards you.
I'm going to grab the submachine gun that's down by the chair.
It wasn't. You weren't sure what kind of gun it was.
All right. So how near is my gun?
I mean, it's right down there. So this is just act under pressure. Can you get it before something bad happens?
Yep.
No modifiers here. Oh no! So in your haste,
yeah, I presume I just hit it and it just
exactly. Yeah. You kick this thing and it slides right underneath your couch. And there's a serious consequence. You make a mistake and you're exposed to danger. You then hear and this guy is like barreling in towards you now. I'd like you to make an avoid harm check at -1.
Nice.
So once again, you can see he's coming in towards you, and you maybe on the ground, you just sort of like scramble on all fours to the side. He misses you in the darkness, misses your coffee table, stumbles over that, collapses, and breaks it. What are you doing next, Mike?
So is he now? We're both on the floor at this point.
He's on the ground. You're sort of like scrambling on all fours and getting back up. What would you like to do?
Effectively, I'm going to come up behind him and effectively try and effectively sucker punch him right in the back of the neck.
So that sounds. So if you're unarmed, your choices are punching, kicking, or tearing for 1 point of damage, or you can lock them, like get them in a wrestling hold, disarm them, or you use excessive force. Focus entirely on killing your target, disregarding your own safety. That does 2.
I think excessive force because he's so big and tough, and I've got to stop him.
Sure. Yeah. So maybe you grab something off of like something heavy off of the your an antique ashtray or something like that you're gonna brain him with.
Yeah, some of the stuff that was on the coffee table maybe.
Sure. Yeah. So go ahead and give us. Yeah, and actually, as it broke, it would have fallen to your ground. So you sort of grab that as you're standing up and you run over to him. Go ahead and give us a engage in combat check.
The 5th edition hero revised.
Yeah. Bam! So you hammer this guy, and there's a sickening crunch in the back of his head, and as he just suddenly falls still.
Mm-hmm. Dang, Mike, you're a killer.
Yeah.
Well,
Anna's impressed. Can you hear her? He did it. He did it.
I'm thinking, fuck, they're probably going to. They might have seen that from the outside.
Yeah. Well, the gunshot definitely was it was from your unsilenced weapon too.
Yeah. I'm going to grab what I can, effectively try and.
I have a little bit of good news.
Yeah.
It seems like that swim in the fish tank did not affect your gun.
Yeah. Yeah. So I'm going to effectively try and retrieve my gun and the submachine gun.
Okay, so again, it's not a you don't know it's a submachine gun. It was one
I'm going
or
to
the
grab
other.
whatever it was he dropped then.
Okay, what you're gonna have to get down on your knees and kind of grab that thing. Give us an act under pressure check. This will tell us. Hold on, sweetie. Hold on. Because the only reason I'm making you roll is it'll determine whether they can respond. Okay, so you easily grab your gun. You've got that in your hand. You can hear, you're on your knees and you sort of like, you're reaching underneath the sofa and like, come on, oh, and you get your fingers just on the tips of the gun and you're pulling it in and you get your hands on it and then you hear the sound of someone is unlocking the door. What are you doing?
Unlocking the door? can I sort of like grab what it is and then roll on? Well, no, I'll just roll on my back and point my gun towards the door then.
Okay.
Assuming have I got line of sight to the? I assume it's under the sofa and I can see the door.
Okay, I'm going to remind you again of the last time. You got no cover right now, and there are 2 of them. They would each get an action.
Okay, in that case, I'm going to effectively try and leave through the fire escape.
So why don't you just give us another act under pressure check here. This will get you to, and I think I'll give you a +1 to this, Mo, because you've, I think this is sort of your planned escape route from the sounds of things.
Yeah.
All right, so you, what do we see is you sort of race out the window, and then the doors burst open, and 2 more thugs come running in.
Yeah, you probably see the kitchen window, or presumably there's like a sort of quite a high one, a kitchen sort of window. You see it banging, and me disappearing down. I'm just going to try and like slide down.
So those guys come running over, and they're looking around, and all they see is the open case. They have no sign of you. You have a second gun now with a silencer on it.
Yeah.
And a full clip, so full ammo, 4 clips of ammo. You've only you got 3 dots of ammo left for your other one.
Yeah, let me just make a note of that.
Okay. So as we leave our Mike scene, where is he intending on going next?
So, what time of day? So this was like
Night.
Afternoon. Oh,
Night.
sorry, it's early evening then. I think he's going to disappear and I don't know, find somewhere.
You know what? We can leave it. Why don't we let you think about it?
Let me think about what his next action is and
so
go back
you're
to the others.
disappearing off. We cut back to Joey, and Joey, the garbage, the sanitation workers have like got out of the vehicle and they're like, "Oh my god, the hell did you do, man? Their fucking heads are exploded." Oh, you're muted, Carl.
I see this as a perfect opportunity because, it's freaky, but, he reacts with freakiness by being equally crazy. So he goes, "They messed with the wrong bookie. That's right. That's right." He points to the dead body. "That's right. No more bets for you."
Is
and
it
actually
that
wants to go. But I'm thinking about Madame Yoveski and whatever divine, he looks up at the heavens. I don't know. Like some angel shot these guys, killed them.
Yeah.
So he doesn't know what the hell's going on. But he's going to go and get one of their guns and then head, or maybe both of their guns, because his buddy didn't have a gun either.
Yep.
And start heading towards Madame Yoveski's. So
yeah. So and as you're walking away, the sanitation workers are like, "Hey, man, you can't just leave him here. What are you doing, man? Why don't you give us an influence other? I just want this to judge kind of how the sanitation workers are going to react."
Okay, he's going to say, he goes, "Look, man, it's a gang war. You don't want to be involved."
I'm going to give you a +1 to this because of the way you framed it before. Of like, hey, they fucked with the wrong person,
Yeah, okay. It should be okay unless I roll like totally crazy badly.
Let's see here.
Charisma's a good thing for me. Oh, yeah.
Fantastic. So the 2 of them are like, "All right, man. All right. That's okay. All right. Whatever you say. Whatever you say." She grabbed the stuff and...
Yeah, he actually probably said something. They're Packers fans.
So we see Joey trotting over towards the... what do you call it? We see Joey trotting over towards the... racing back in the direction of Madame, disappearing into the snow-filled streets. We'll cut back to Sam. So Sam, you're just like, your face is covered with this gore, and then you can hear a voice from behind you, and it says, "Well, this is unexpected." And
I recognize the voice.
You sort of turn around, Sam, and what you can see is... Yeah. That's okay.
Sorry.
I love an active audience. That's fantastic. If anyone has any concern about like people not being engaged in the scenes that don't feature their character, you have completely dispelled that, Mo. That's awesome.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
This is such a good show. I mean, this is a show we need to pitch to George to make the screenplay.
So, Sam, you turn around and, like, in the film, your face is just covered with gore, apart from the place that you've sort of, like, wiped this stuff off. And you see, again, I think your casting is perfect, Carl. It's like a Paul Giamatti type, right? Shorter guy, a little heavier, but carrying himself with a confident arrogance. And I don't think you have any idea who this is. And he does have a gun in his hand, and it looks like it's a big fuck off like revolver. Little man syndrome playing out in the firearms capacity. Who are you? Are you a friend of Novak's? I'm speaking too quickly, but
yeah,
I don't want you guys to have to belabor my slow talking in the last half hour.
Right. I mean, a good question here is Samuel's state. I mean, he's I think he's probably kind of flickering. You know, he's like, he's basically on the threshold. I mean, there's so many layers here for Samuel. You know, he's
And I think what happens is in that light, he flickers, and the big mustachioed man that you shot wearing a uniform, in that vision, he's standing there for a moment with a gun. And then he's gone. And then now it's Joseph Peters standing there. Clean shaven.
I think Samuel's actually he starts stuttering, and he doesn't really look natural right now. I mean, I think he's going and like there's something wrong with him. Like he looks like a guy that you'd cross the street if you were going down the street. You're going, whoa, you'd like go, I don't know what that's about, but I'm not passing that situation. Yeah. So and I think his eyes are a little weird, like, you know, like they went dark when it triggers, and now they're flickering a little. They're a little dark, and he's looking out, and I think he has the gun extended because that's what he'd do instinctively. Yep. But the hand is trembling. You know, everyone could see it's trembling. Like it, that's not particularly impressive. But whatever he's going through is bizarre. Like you're not. I don't think I don't know what the guy. I mean, he doesn't know what this guy in front of him. He can't mistake it. Like, what is going on with this guy? So that's what I got. That's what I got for Samuel anyway.
Is it leaking? Is that?
I think it's leaking. I mean, if he's pressed at all, he's going anymore. He's going to. It's going to be the contagious insanity. It's somewhere between involuntary medium and contagious insanity.
Yeah.
A combination.
I think at this point, it's if it's as you described, and it's so close. What you can kind of hear, and it's in this like muffled state, right? Like where you can't quite make out. You know, you think he says, you know, drop the gun, but it kind of comes across like. Yeah. And you're just, it's lost to you what is being said. Why don't you give us a soul check? Now, I think you do suffer the penalty of your stability for this roll. Okay. Right? Because I think that's how stability works.
And I'm at, so that is at -1 still. Okay. Because I'm at -2 to disadvantage rolls, which I have to keep in mind if that comes up. But I'm at -1 at this point, still at keep it together. So okay.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So give us a soul check at -1, please.
Okay.
Let's see what happens here.
All right, there you go.
My.
I mean, that seems right. I think that's about right, actually.
All right. See, your intended victim's own terrors and dark secrets manifest within you. You must keep it together. All right, so keep it together is at a -3 right now for the net. So why don't you give us a keep it together check here?
Okay.
Let's see what happens.
-3.
What you can feel is you can like what you're. I mean, like before we see the outcome of this roll, I'll set this up for you. What's happening is as you're sort of trembling, you now it's sort of like. Comes into razor sharp focus on him while the rest of the world feels weird and discordant, and every possible ugly feature about this person, and by ugly I don't mean like physical, I mean like the cruel and petty and and just unpleasant aspects of this person. The sneer, the cruel, cold, dead eyes, the casual, arrogant flair with that he's holding this massive gun. You can almost smell the stink of his breath, and what you can hear in your ears is the whispering of everyone who has been killed by him. Directly or indirectly, and they're all just saying, kill him, kill him, kill him, kill him. Okay, so keep it together with the effort to resist instills a condition which remains with you. Okay, so what they were trying to do is you were going to empty this gun into him, without question. You were angry, -1 stability, and you were fit with just the fury of the unavenged dead right now.
Okay.
Okay?
Yep.
What are you doing next?
So I've just been pulling the trigger, right? I've been pulling the trigger.
You have not yet. That's what the spirit. If you want to let the spirits, that's what they've been trying to force you to do. If you had failed your keep it together, you would have emptied the clip into this guy and killed him.
Gotcha. I think he's got so many layers going on. He's sputtering. I think he's sputtering and saying. I think he's saying the madam's name. He says, "Madam Jazeski," and his hand's still trembling, and his. I think his eyes start going dark. I think he's breaking. Yeah, I think he's just gonna do. I think that's what's gonna happen.
Same thing. Just gonna unload on this guy.
He's gonna unload on this guy.
Okay, go ahead.
Oh shit!
Contagious insanity at -1. Come on.
I mean, I'm surprised that it took me so long to come to that conclusion.
A good thing it wasn't against us.
Yeah. Especially since I can see this guy, like the veil's kind of, revealed on this guy. His essence. All right, so let's see. A roll on the soul table. Roll soul on the table, I guess. And do any modifiers?
I think it's just the -1.
Okay.
For stability?
Yeah.
Because at this point, since I lost another one, I'm anxious. So keep that in mind.
Oh, what does that do?
Let's see. It's -2 to keep it together, -3 to disadvantage, and +1 to see through the illusion. So what do you? I'm not sure if any of that,
Okay, let's roll your thing with no modifiers.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Okay, soul. Oh.
All right, so contagious exam. Choose 2 things. Afflict a victim with a temporary psychosis, trigger disadvantage, affect an additional victim, or call for creatures of madness to haunt the infected. I think I will throw out one offer for you. One thing is that he can hear, if you want, you can just bring all of those murdered the sounds that you're hearing crashing down on him, so he hears and sees them all.
Yeah, I mean, what if they kind of crawl through my eyes and start and go at him, like they're all reaching out and they come flooding out of my eyes towards him.
So he does it, and immediately what starts happening? He's firing wildly, trying to get these things, and that veneer of confidence that is just masking a root of weakness and fear and pettiness. That falls away. He's just screaming and shooting wildly, and then he tries to turn and run. So you have a free option to act if you like, or you can let him just run out of the front door.
I'm going to let him run out.
Okay. He goes screaming and running out into the night. Ah! All right. Then
Samuel doesn't actually hate the man. I mean, it's not a personal
thing. Know him,
like
right?
he doesn't even know him. He just saw how horrific he was, and Samuel's in this bizarre state,
And while others may only hear a single voice crying out as he's running off, you can hear the voice of dozens.
Okay.
So with that, you're still afflicted with their fury. you still feel like your hands, are trembling. You've tenuously got a hold on reality right now. What do you do next?
I think he stumbles forward into the looking for Madame Yusefsky or looking for anyone else that's in there. He doesn't, it seems like that was it, but who knows? So he goes in there with the trembling, with the shaky, almost you can hear the mechanics in the gun. If you shook a handgun, if you intentionally shook it, it sounds like that. Like there's whatever's in there that could rattle is rattling, as he's kind of, looking around. Is there more, what's in here? And he stumbles in.
So you stumble in, and what you can see is it's a classic. She's tied up to a chair. It's one of the chairs from her thing. The room where she does her seances is sort of messed up and stuff's not can be cleared out, so she can be sort of interrogated or held. You then hear sort of a banging as you look over, and you can see Joey has run back. And Joey, like as you run in, Sam turns to you, and he's got blood all over him, and he sort of like points the gun at you briefly.
Yeah, I got two. I'm like, I brought you a gun or two.
And then and Samuel kind of like he's just ridiculously unsteady, and he almost comically tries to put the gun in his belt, but he can't. And he has to very deliberately use two hands, and it's almost painful to watch. Like, come on, guy, come on.
Joey, you would have also stepped over that other body that had its head similarly exploded to what you passed before. What's going through Joey's mind right now?
Well, I think Joey's like he doesn't know what happened. I mean, he kind of hangs out on the streets. He's not. He kind of has a sympathy. I think I have it somewhere that I have sympathy for like the downtrodden. So he's thinking like, I don't know what's up with this guy. He's a friend of Madame Yavosky. He looks like he's homeless and he's freaking out, and he just ruined probably his only good suit. So he's going to try to like help him sit down and calm down.
Sure. So
he just dropped. He doesn't know what to do with guns. He just like, puts them on the ground.
Okay, so you just toss them down. Sam,
what do you do? Man. It's okay. It's okay. He's like seeing, like I'm sure he's seen many a street person, having some sort of episode, right? So he's going to try to help this guy because that's kind of one of his things. It's kind of one of those things. Stop similar crimes. He's seen the downtrodden.
Yeah. So how does Sam
okay,
react?
Man, it's okay. It's okay. We're friends here now. We're friends here. I don't know what the hell happened here.
Samuel's probably hyperventilating a little bit. I think the look in his eyes is calmed to the extent that it could be mistaken for something natural, something like like an episode or a seizure or something. And Samuel with shaky hands is really looking at the madam, but is motioning towards a chair. He's trying to sit down.
Okay. And he looks at Sam. Joey looks at Madame Yavosky. Is she?
So you're looking around. She's not. She's still sort of tied up, and she looks a little like she's gagged. She looks a little panicked.
Okay. Well, once he gets Sam settled, then he's going to go and help her and untie her, and he kind of is talking like Sam doesn't know, but he's just talking. He's a nervous talker, and he's like, those are Mr. Pearl's men. I haven't seen Mr. Pearl. And they're all dead. They're like all fucking dead.
Okay, so you untie. Do you take the gag off of her first?
Yeah.
So you take it off, and she says, "Joey, why did you come?" Sam.
To save you. You're like my aunt's best friend.
She says, "Oh, Joey, you're a good boy. Sam, you can't be." And then she falls silent, and is just staring at you, Sam. And Sam, I'm picturing that you're not looking at her directly. You're just sort of trying to collect yourself. And then as soon as she falls silent, you sort of look up, and the look at Joey, you're sort of on your knees helping like untie her arms, untie her legs and stuff. And she's just looking at you, and the look on her face, and the expression, like from the panicked like reaction you would expect of someone who is freed and whatnot, to there is a unnatural calm to her right now. and she's looking at you directly, Sam, with a look of... it's intense, and it is polite, but it's sinister.
Have I ever seen her with that look before?
Never. You almost feel like it is something else that is looking at her. You can just feel that same feeling of like butterflies or unease in your stomach, and your mouth kind of gets wet, like with that like pre-puke kind of feeling, like you're gonna. Something unnatural is here. I think if you chose to see through the veil,
yeah,
or the illusion,
you get a +1.
You get a +1 because of your mental state.
Yeah, I think he's probably going to do that involuntarily. I think he does it not because he decides to do it. It's just what happens, you know. And I think as this is happening.
Holy shit!
What's that? Sorry, Coral, what was it?
The music is like building up, like.
And I think also what you said before, Kevin. I think that it's like the cold water going down his back again as she looks up and he looks at her, and he tunes out everything but her, and is trying to look directly into her. Like it's just involuntarily.
Okay, so what
should I do?
What you did you was that your move? See through the illusion roll?
No.
Oh,
that's
okay.
That was the previous one.
Yeah, so you get see through the illusion. So it's a see through illusion at +1, please.
Okay.
Fucking nice one.
Nice.
All right. So then you perceive things as they truly are. So forgive me for I should have loaded this beforehand, but you once again do that blink and there's a shuddering, and what you see looking back at you is this man.
Huh.
And I see him instead of her?
Instead of her. He is sitting there. He's being untied and freed by Joey.
And I don't recognize him, right?
Face means nothing to you. But he speaks, and this time you don't hear... Joey, you hear Madame Yoseveski's voice, but it sounds weird. Like it's like when someone's either putting on a different voice or just there's the inflection, the pacing, the cadence is different. Sam, you actually hear a man's voice with it's a bit of a European accent, and you can't. It's not European. It's not Eastern European. It's not like Italian, Spanish, German. But it's definitely a European accent. If you think about it, you might be able to place it. But what he says to you is simply, "Where is the package?"
And Samuel says, "Where is Madame Yosefsky?"
He sort of adjusts that perfect mustache of his. You know, it's groomed in such a way that it can really, with a little shift of his lip, it'll really accentuate the sort of displeasure, and says, "Where is the package?"
And Samuel, I think, instinctively goes for the just reaches for it, but doesn't actually grab it because of the threat. This guy, Samuel's not stable at all right now, and he reaches for the gun in his poorly tucked gun in his belt. It leaves it be in confusion because is this Madam? Is this guy?
Yeah.
He starts blinking and he says, "Who are you?"
I am a servant of the true owner, a courier. It should not have been taken, and it must be returned. If, and he sort of twitches, Peters, the Peters girl will suffer terribly. Bring me the package. It does not belong to you. Now, why don't you give us an influence other check. Let's see if you can get more info out of this guy.
Okay. Well, let me just check.
Or maybe you can observe a situation. Let's do that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And I'll give you a +1 because of your enlightened sort of state you're in right now. Joey, he's asking Madame Yoseveski who she is, and this conversation.
Madame Yoseveski.
Right.
Okay. So you can ask me one question. What I'll tell you for free, because you're going to get some information out of this, is you think you can vaguely hear the sounds. Like, does someone have a war movie on in another room? Oh, the top. Only you can hear this, Sam. Ask your question. What is your question?
I'm looking at those. I'm looking at the questions.
Joey, what are you making while Sam's considering that? What are you doing, Joey?
Just like he's just like talking. Like, is everything okay? I mean, I guess he probably sees like the open door that Mr. Carl ran through too, right?
Yeah. You can probably hear like still shouts in the street of one.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I mean, he's going off in the distance now too, but it looks like there's marks in the snow. It's easy to see that someone ran out and went running off blindly into the street.
Okay. He tries to ask, but I guess it looks like Sam's having a conversation with Madame Yoseveski. I can't hear Madame Yoseveski talk, can I?
You can hear her side. You don't hear it as a man's voice. You don't hear the sound of that, like, war movie on in the other room kind of sound that Sam hears.
But you just got, Madam, are you okay? Is everything all right? Who ran out?
She seems to be focused solely on Sam for some reason.
And he sounds strange to Joey, right?
Definitely.
She sounds strange.
She sounds strange. She is, the way she's speaking and the accent she has when she speaks is not her own.
Okay. Can I place it?
Yeah, I think you've Greek.
Oh, okay.
Just
I could go get. Do you need some souvlaki?
What's your question, Sam?
What is my best way through this? Like Sam's, Sam's been spun around. I mean, he there's so much has happened in 5 minutes. He's like,
you're brought back to that young guy when you were recovering after Jenny's, after seeing Jenny. There was a package that was mentioned. Like there was those guys who showed up, and there was a whole bunch of other shit that went on. But didn't that young Agent Anderson? Didn't he mention that there was a package delivered for you at her house?
Yep. And did he mention a return address, Kevin?
There was no return address.
Okay.
There was just the writing on it. And it was wrapped up in, like, butcher's paper.
Samuel says, I don't have the package. An owner of what?
And he looks over his shoulder, and you don't see this, Joey, but what you see very briefly, Sam, is the vision of Joseph Peters that you saw before. And he's wearing, like, tattered, filthy clothing. His hands are manacled together in not like a medieval style, but in a form of handcuff that looks like it has not seen use for a century. And he's standing there as real as if you were in the same room with him. And he Madame Yozeveski / this man, once again, just sort of his mouth twitches and he says, "This is how we handle thieves." And there is a sound of kind of a rumbling, and you can see that like it sounds like some piece of heavy machinery is moving, and there's very slowly a wrenching, and you can see that the manacles on his hands are separate from ones that are on his, like, shackles on his feet, and it sort of pulls him up, and he's taut, and you can hear the twisting and popping of ligaments as if it's like right in front of you. I think I'd like you to give us a keep it together check here, please.
Is that for both? For just Sam?
Just
or
for Sam.
both of them?
Sam is like, again, this whole, like, this is how we handle thieves thing. She's saying this, and this makes no sense to you whatsoever, Joey.
But who stole what? What?
Okay, I'm at minus.
Why do you sound Greek, Madame Yozeveski?
Okay.
I'm at -2 for this.
Okay. Oh. So you're cowardice, powerless before the threat's presence, panic with no control, or suffer life-changing trauma. I think it's only -2 to your stability. And you tell me, like, I want you to have agency over how this reacts. I'm thinking that maybe what Sam does is just now seeing, Joseph before him, like, he maybe just drops down and starts pleading.
Yeah, and I'm thinking that he I go -2. Is that right? -2 to my stability right now.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm unhinged. So I think he drops. He finds that he had the gun in his hand.
Yeah.
And he drops it, and he starts shouting. And I think at this point there's probably, I'm envisioning a physical manifestation, like he starts bleeding.
Yeah.
He starts bleeding from his eyes and his nose.
Yeah.
And he starts shouting, "What happened that day? What happened that day?" And he's talking about, of course, the fateful day that everything changed. And he's just shouting it over and over and over.
And then she, so as he's dropped to the ground, Joey, you're seeing this happen, and this makes, then Madame Yozeveski turns to you, and she seems to be back to herself. And she says, "Joey, help him before more come." And before
I heard about the package, right? And Peter's and all that.
Yeah. She says, then, looks at you and says, it would be a shame if it sort of reaches up her hand towards you, and then in a sudden sort of like single gesture, you hear she gestures like that, and you can hear both bones in her arm crack, and it's hanging down limp.
Whoa, okay.
Can you give us a keep it together check as well?
There it is.
Yeah.
Oh. No, failure.
Okay, so you're like, what the this is just too much for you to handle. You stagger back and are looking at, because this is someone who you value quite a bit, right?
Yeah.
So I think just give you -2 to your stability, and then you now hear that same man's voice with a Greek accent say to you through her voice, "Find the package, right? Break her."
And I will add, like, this is on top of I'm still yelling.
Yeah.
So all of that is in the midst of, like,
that's a lot
what
to deal with.
happened that day? What happened that day?
So how do I put stability? I'm on easy now.
It's on page 2. If you go to page 2, you'll see your stability track on the left.
So I'm on easy. Is it because I lost 2?
Yeah.
Again, you're composed, and then you'd be unfocused if you lost 2, I guess.
Okay. Got it.
So you, and then after this voice says this, it's back to her, and she just sort of screams and grabs her arm, which is just like hanging limp, like a a piece of I don't know, like a loose piece of meat.
He's like, "Get a doctor."
Okay.
I mean,
And then I think that is where we will end our session. So
Nice.
let's talk about what we saw happen today. So we saw, let's see here. Both of you guys investigated Madame Yozoveski. So Joe and or Joey and Sam, you both did that. Mike, you definitely continue to investigate Amber's disappearance. Following up, so that happened. The other two will carry forward, so we did not reveal who.
He wants Joey down.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
But that's cool. So we can carry those forward to the next session, and then we also.
He hinted at it, but then these things happen so fast. Because when he hid, he's like, "Oh, this is just like what happened with," and then things happen.
Yeah. So here, each question: have we discovered anything new about the truth?
Definitely.
What?
Have we learned anything new about our characters?
For sure, Sam.
Yep,
definitely.
I think Mike as well too. Like we definitely
Mike. Mike's pretty competent in the fight against a big Eastern European dude.
Yeah. And
just an IT guy.
Yeah.
And the last one is, have we challenged ourselves? And I think there's a resounding yes there. You get some outstanding role playing from everybody. So that means I believe everyone's getting 4 experience for today.
Oh wow. Okay.
Once you've accumulated 5, remember that's when you get another advancement.
Okay, like I have 9 now, so I guess I get an advance.
You get an advancement, yeah. So then you can take a look on page 137.
We got 4 last time, so this time we get
4 last time, and 4 this time, so you get 8 then total, right?
8. We're at 8, yeah.
Yeah.
8.
Okay, so then if you got 5, then you can cash that in for another advancement.
Where are those?
Those are on page 137.
Okay.
So the first one because I think you guys have only, Mike and Sam, you guys each have 1 advancement under your belt, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, so then you can't go to the second ones until you get 5 advancements. So the choices are, you can a number of times you can increase an active attribute by 1 up to a maximum of 3. You can increase 1 passive attribute by 1 up to a maximum of 3. Once until you get 5 advancements, you can choose to increase an attribute up to a maximum of 4. Or you can select a new advantage, and you can only do that 3 times. So before you hit your next...
What are active versus passive? I guess
passive are the saving throws, basically. Passive ones are the fort, reflex, and will. And the active ones are your other stats. So, awesome. Well, that was great.
That was a lot of fun.
Yeah, that was, man, what a great game. I can't believe how fast the time flies.
Did anyone comment on that, your flashback?
Let's see if anyone caught it in chat. No, it doesn't look like anyone has yet. Do you want to tell Sean what it was?
Yeah. Do you know what that was, Sean?
No.
So it was assassination of Archduke Franz Ferdinand and Duchess Sophie to begin World War I by Princeps.
Yeah, for a little Princeps.
It's crazy. So it's crazy. So he missed the first. So like the history show I saw, they had all staged this out. Some guys, there were like 5 assassins. Some got cold feet, and they called it off because there was an explosion and they changed the route. So Princeps goes to like this cafe and starts eating, and then he sees like the route somehow like the route, and it was right outside the cafe. So he ran out there, started World War I effectively.
Wow.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Pretty cool.
And
I only know that because I just saw like a show on it.
Interesting tidbit too. Did the history show mention the secret organization that he was part of?
It did. It's like the I want to say the Black Hand or something. Yeah.
That's an RPG right there all by itself.
Totally, dude.
That's crazy.
I couldn't tell who that. I thought at first the picture you showed was Freud, but it's got the wrong turn of mustache.
No, this is the one that I found about from behind the bastion. I'm like, this is fucking perfect.
Yeah.
And he is a right fucking bastard, so I do not mind making use of him in.
So I can use. I'm sure if we look up Black Hand, I don't know.
Yeah, and not for nothing, Mike and Sam, do you remember the name of the organization that those tattoos related to?
Yeah, I'm kind of assuming it's the Black Hand.
It was the Black Hand.
Hand.
So
Which is also the name.
if I'd been reminded that, I'd be like, holy shit, I wonder if it's... Maybe I did know about that.
I think it was the guys, because it was when Mike and Sam got in that gunfight at Jenny's place.
Yeah.
That's when they discovered the thugs there who had tattoos that were part of an organization called the Black Hand.
Yeah.
Cool.
But nice.
Wow.
That's cool.
All right, then, for those
neat.
listening at home, thank you so much for joining us. I've got it labeled right now as part 2. This is actually part 3 of this adventure, those that left behind. We will return to this. This is our last session of this before the new year. So we'll be back in a month's time, unfortunately. But I'm looking forward to kicking off the new year with this. This is it is such a good game. Really facilitates a very easy flow of narrative and story. And I think one thing, I was talking to Jeff about kind of story games in general on Friday after our Friday session, and one of the things he said is like the transitioning from a traditional game into a story game, when it takes a little time to get used to how the game flows. And I feel like this session we all had a really good sense of how the game mechanics interact with the story. So great job by everyone.
I think so too. I think what I see about this game too is like when you were talking about, I was listening to your end of the year thing, and you were saying that Kult has like mechanics for normal things too, like fighting. Like they're pretty, it's not, there's concrete ways to do violence. So the moves are pretty well defined compared to other. I say the moves are pretty well defined compared to other PBTA games.
They're less abstracted than what those other ones are, and I really appreciate that, because I think for the type of story that you want to tell with this, I have no concern. It's funny because when I read the game before I'd run it, I was like, well, I'm not sure how, if you got that much narrative agency, how much is it going to feel like a horror game? And what are you talking about, Madison? This is
even the fight with the fight between Mike and that Hungarian guy or whatever.
Super fucking thrilling. Same thing with the gunfight that you guys had with those guys in the yard too. It really had it felt like you guys were making good mechanical different choices as to what attack you want to use, and it's neat having different sort of approaches with each weapon too. Right? Like Mike could have tried to grab the guy or whatnot. It's a really very
kind of cool.
Yeah, really, really good game. All right, then. So for those listening at home, we will be back again in the new year with the next installment of our Kult Divinity Lost campaign. But until then, if you have any comments, questions, or concerns regarding the game, the campaign, or the session, please don't hesitate to leave a comment in the comment section of the video, and I'll endeavor to reply in a timely fashion. In addition, you can find a link down below to the Dungeon Musings Discord server, where all of us are active. I don't think I have a games channel set up for Kult yet, but I'll try to do that maybe over the next over the next weekend or whatnot, or over the holidays, because I'd it's a good enough. I think maybe what I could do is do a story game channel, and we could talk Cult, City of Lemist, all those games.
Just category or
Blades of the Dark, Masks, because those are all games I really like as well too. So anyway, but until then, you can also find me on Twitter at Dungeon Musings, and by email. My email address is dungeonmusings@gmail.com. The last thing I will say is a huge thank you to our stalwart players. For a game like this in particular, guys, active engagement and really trying to take advantage of the mechanics and the fiction. It really requires a more substantial involvement with the players, and I really appreciate you guys bringing this game so much to life through these sessions. So Carl, Mo, and Sean, thank you so much for playing today, guys, and thanks so much for playing this game with me.
Thank you, Kevin. Awesome.
Thank you, Kevin.
Awesome. Then for those listening at home, we'll be back. If we don't talk, if you are listening to us either contemporaneous to the recording or live, we hope that you have a very restful and relaxing holiday. I certainly intend to do that over the break, and we hope that we gave you a few hours to take your mind off of the troubles of our world and think about the troubles that our heroes are encountering in the world the illusion that is the world. And until we see you again, stay safe, stay healthy, happy gaming, and happy holidays.
Happy holidays, everyone.
Holidays?